That means it's bug season. Heck, who am I kidding? It's always bug season in Texas. And that's why you need Grandeur Pest Solutions in your corner. They're locally owned and operated. They're trained, they're trustworthy, and they have a proven record as they have been in business for almost 10 years. They provide pest control against ants, bed bugs, bees, roaches, fleas, wasps, mosquitoes, rodents, spiders. If it crawls and you don't like it, they're probably going to take care of it for you. Now, they serve all of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and they're locally owned. These two guys have been running this business since 2013, and every year they get bigger and bigger. But you know what they still do? They still have great customer service. In fact, if you get a hold of them, they're usually going to have your quote and your job ready to go within 48 hours. That's pretty good. Now, you can call them for a free estimate at 469-809-1769. You can find them online at Grandeur4, that's the number 4, shore.com. You can also find them on Facebook. Just type in Grandeur Pet Solutions, and we are so happy that they're title sponsor for OutDrank The Coverage in 2023. That means it's bug season. Heck, who am I kidding? It's always bug season in Texas. And that's why you need Grandeur Pest Solutions in your corner. They're locally owned and operated. They're trained, they're trustworthy, and they have a proven record as they have been in business for almost 10 years. They provide pest control against ants, bed bugs, bees, roaches, fleas, wasps, mosquitoes, rodents, spiders. If it crawls and you don't like it, they're probably going to take care of it for you. Now, they serve all of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and they're locally owned. These two guys have been running this business since 2013, and every year they get bigger and bigger. But you know what they still do? They still have great customer service. In fact, if you get a hold of them, they're usually going to have your quote and your job ready to go within 48 hours. That's pretty good. Now, you can call them for a free estimate at 469-809-1769. You can find them online at Grandeur4, that's the number 4, shore.com. You can also find them on Facebook. Just type in Grandeur Pet Solutions, and we are so happy that they're title sponsor for OutDrank The Coverage in 2023. All right, I think we are live here. It's the Monday Night Football Happy Hour Watch Party. Intern Noe the Pro. I am Terry, the host. Just like every other time, you and I have been here all afternoon. We've had no issues. Everything's going, and then 5 minutes before we start, all of a sudden, just weird things start to happen. But we are in for what we think is going to be an interesting night, as of course it's the Bills, the Jets, and AFC East rivalry, all that fun stuff. But also, this is the first game since Aaron Rodgers since Woody Johnson fired the Jets head coach. What are you expecting tonight, intern Noe the Pro?
I'm expecting something different from their offense. They demoted Nathaniel Hackett, who is Aaron Rodgers' best friend and was the offensive coordinator for the Jets. I'm expecting something exciting from this offense. They fired a really good head coach who most of the NFL would love
Right. Now, they fired a guy who'd been a good defensive coordinator who had been terrible as a head coach.
He wasn't terrible as
Dude,
a
he was
head
like
coach.
14-39.
He was a 14 and 30. Oh, well,
Yeah, Robert Salah was like 14-39. He was, record-wise, I'm not saying
21 season wasn't the best. That was, yeah, okay. I'm thinking 22 and 23. He was 7 and 10 back-to-back years. Okay, yeah,
I get what you're trying to say, though.
Yeah,
I think that it felt like
they were a quarterback away.
Yes.
I think he should have been given the whole season with Aaron Rodgers. He wasn't given the whole season with Aaron Rodgers. That sucks. He's gone. He's going to get another chance at the NFL.
It'll be a while. It'll be a while. He's going to have to
probably go back to BDC.
He'll have to
somewhere.
go BDC for a few years, and even then, I don't know. It doesn't. He just doesn't feel like one of those that's going to get multiple shots, right or wrong. I don't know. By the way, they're doing their picks. We're going to be watching the game with you. We can't, of course, show the video, but I'm actually surprised that two of them are going with the Jets pick. I don't know. It is the most NFL thing for them to win, but this kind of feels like one of those where the Bills just like win 28-3 or something.
Yeah, I really feel like the Bills are going to win this game. I think when we talked earlier, I was predicting 17-13 or no, 31-17 Bills, but it could easily be 13-9 like you predicted. But yeah, Josh Allen, he's a little banged up going into this game, so that'll be a factor. Aaron Rodgers, I think he hurt his calf or
ego,
ankle, calf in London last week against the Vikings. So he's coming in his game a little banged up, but it's in New York, Monday night. They had an extra day to rest. They're playing a pretty solid Bills team. I love the uniform the Jets are wearing. They're wearing their road uniforms at home, white helmet. They're classic, old school, like Joe Namath style, Vinny Testaverde style uniforms.
So again, they're one of those franchise that they have two great looks, and really all you either need to do like they're doing now, which I still think every team should, just have them both in rotation every year, or if nothing else, just switch them out every 20 years. Because both looks are great. The one they're wearing now with the green helmets and not tonight, but I'm talking about this season.
Right.
Looks great. It's from the 80s. And, we all remember that. I didn't like it when they went into the 90s and they started putting like a black face mask on it and all that.
Right.
That's when it got a little bit too weird. But then they also, when Parcells became the head coach, they flipped to what I call the Joe Namath helmet, as you see right now in the highlights. And either one of them look great. Just flip them out when one gets tired, or like this year, just have them both in rotation.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any problem with doing that in rotation. I know part of it's a business thing. Teams want to debut new uniforms. It sells. I can't fault them.
Oh yeah, not
I don't
at all.
like what the Broncos looks are right now. They sell because they're new, and I get it. Some people want to collect all the uniforms of their favorite team. Whatever they want to do.
To be fair, I don't think that the Broncos new ones look bad. It's just kind of generic. I will say this: the more I look at the Texans new ones, I do not like them. They're just too dark. It looks like the Bears. And when you're starting to look like other teams, that's not a compliment.
Yeah, some like one form looks like the Bears, the other form looks like the Falcons. So yeah, it's definitely not good. Definitely copycat. I think that having a red helmet with a blue jersey, or blue helmet with a red jersey, or white helmet, blue logo with a blue jersey would be great. But again, you and I are not part of the PR marketing firm, so Jeff Ulbrich, the interim coach for the Jets, sporting an awesome beard.
You have to wonder what Nathaniel Hackett's thinking through all this.
He knew he was going to be demoted either way, whether Robert Saleh was going to be the head coach or Jeff Ulbrich, the interim
Is
coach.
that really fair too, though? I mean, the dude's only been here for not even a half a season yet. Like, it just feels like it feels like to me that even if Saleh would have stayed, the Jets at 2-3, perfectly fine record at the beginning of the year, are panicking. And it makes no sense. Why are you panicking? How many times do we see it now in the NFL where a team starts slow and then, and again, that's part of the reason why. And of course, we will be getting into the Cowboys and all that. I don't like how the Cowboys lost yesterday, but the fact that they're 3-3 and probably going to be 3-5 doesn't really bother me, because too many times over the last 3 years, Dallas has been pretty in the regular season, and in the playoffs, they spit the bit. I think maybe you struggle a little bit more in the regular season. It might make you a better playoff team.
I mean, it's better than what we've done before.
At least trying something different.
I mean, right now, Cowboys are 3-0 on the road and 0-3 at home. So, at this point,
It's not just the 3-0 or 0-3 at home. It's the outside of a valid comeback, but frantic comeback against the Ravens, Dallas has just been absolutely destroyed at home. Ever
Yeah.
since that Green Bay playoff game has done something to this franchise. Like going back to like we talk about 2011 World Series Game 6 for the the Rangers, the 06 series or 07 series for the Mavericks, just in general after game 2. And then last year's playoff game, for some reason, just absolutely has broke this squad. I forgot he played for the Niners.
Yeah. Man, I 2011.
Hey, we can talk about it
It,
now because they've won one.
yeah. I mean, even when they were at 2 strikes and 2 outs against the Arizona Diamondbacks, I was still nervous. The thing is, people are mad that Dan Quinn is the head coach for the first place Washington Commanders. He has Dante Fowler. He has Tyler Biotish.
Okay, Dante Fowler ain't done shit.
I mean, he showed up yesterday. The Tyler Biotish at center is kind of a steady presence on the offensive side. Dorrance Armstrong is getting some pressures for the Commanders. But this is the same guy, the head coach. This is the same 2 defensive players that were still on that Cowboys team that got blitzkrieged by the Packers offense.
I don't think there's any Cowboy fans wanting Dan Quinn back at the moment.
Some do, only because they're
really
because they're idiots and they just see, Dan Quinn's gone, so now we suck on defense and we need him back.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of.
Well, I mean, people are stupid.
You have to do a little bit of a deep dive, but you'll find them.
Now, I do believe. I think Mike Zimmer's on the firing. I'm kind of surprised. Maybe it's just the bye happened a little too quick, and everything. But I don't think I don't think McCarthy gets fired unless Dallas loses like 5 in a row or something like that. And even then, Jones is always, he's done it once, but he's never been big on firing in season. He'd rather, because it's pointless. But I do think Mike Zimmer could be fired. And then if you then the natural go with Al Harris as your interim DC, then you might see another kind of a return back to a little bit of a Quinn style, because that's where Al Harris cut his teeth as a coach, is under Dan Quinn. But look.
So your most logical, next 4 weeks, we go into November. Who is the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys?
Al Harris.
Okay, so you think after the bye, they go to San Francisco, they go to Atlanta, they go 0-2.
Oh, I don't think they have to lose. I think if you get 2 more games where they're giving up 40 points or 35 points, even if they win one of those, or even if they win both of those, I just don't think you can be like, okay, especially when you get, if Parsons comes back. Now, DeMarcus will be a few weeks, but Parsons comes back, and it's not like Parsons was burning down the house when he was playing. But Parsons come back, and if they still are giving up 35, 40 points, I don't think it matters if they win or lose. You're going to have to make a decision, because then you're talking about 4 or 5 games out of 6 where you're giving up 40 points. There's obviously an issue.
Yeah, I mean, they're consistently doing it. This gives me 2020 vibes, the first half of the season. You know what? Before we continue, I was just glancing over to my left. I see this nice bottle of Goodnight Lovin'.
Oh, yeah.
Terry Bennett, how you doing? And what you drinking?
I've been drinking some Goodnight Lovin', and I've been doing good. We recorded a couple of other shows that we'll be excited to talk about down the road. We're not going to talk about them yet. That's what we were doing earlier today, and you had an interesting, not only am I drinking Goodnight Loving, but we've got a free bottle of Goodnight Loving. So earlier this year, and we'll talk about it here in about a month, I randomly ran into a liqueur company, and we've got a little deal with them that we're excited to talk about here in about a month. And we don't have a deal yet with Goodnight Loving, but you ran into a liquor rep. You kind of told them what we do and everything, and they were really into it and gave us a free bottle of liquor.
Yeah. This morning, went to go get a bottle of Goodnight Loving. That's what I was planning on doing. I got it. A guy to my left told me, "Thank you, sir." I said, "You're welcome." I took a few steps, realized he was a sales rep because he was talking to a customer about trying a different vodka. Well, of course, Goodnight 11. And I was like, you know what? I like Goodnight 11. I know this guy over here to my left likes Goodnight 11. Let me go turn around, have a conversation with this guy.
Goodnight Loving.
So Mitchell and Anna with Goodnight 11, thank you very much.
Okay. I do want to point out one thing. It is Goodnight Loving. 2 names. Goodnight Loving Trail. Not as you say it, which I do prefer the way you say it. Goodnight Loving. I mean, if we keep drinking it, there might be some Goodnight Loving later.
Whoa.
But no. So going back to talking about the Cowboys. Seriously, I don't. We can talk about the run game. We can talk about the offensive line. We can talk about the lack of wide receivers, and we can talk about Dak. And Dak has struggled in the losses this year. But if you can't fix the defense, at least cut the points in games to 20. It doesn't matter what the offense is going to do, because this offense is not built to win shootouts. The 2020 offense was like, they knew going in, and I still don't think they'd have made the playoffs, but if Dak doesn't get hurt, it looked like he was about to have like a 5,000 yard year. The issue that I have, it goes back to what we keep saying. And I mean, at this time it's just a broken record, but it still remains. I 100% feel like Jerry did all this on purpose to give him the excuse to fire Mike McCarthy instead of just firing Mike McCarthy. For sometimes Jerry gets really weird and he feels like he needs that, like he has to have a reason other than he's just the freaking owner of the Dallas Cowboys. And so it's like, I'll let him fail this year and then we'll restart next year. And I'm like, if that's what you wanted to do, why didn't you just let him go this year? Like, everybody was calling for it. Nobody would have. You'd have had a couple go, well, y'all were 12-5 3 years in a row. You don't ever fire a coach doing that. But almost everybody else was like, okay, look, obviously they just can't get past this roadblock. It's time to move on. And I just don't know why Jerry didn't move on, unless there's somebody he has in mind. Maybe there's that thing where, I don't know. I jokingly said earlier, it would not shock me if he hired somebody like freaking John Gruden. Like, that just seems like the most Jerry hire of all right there. Old school guy. He's going to take us back to the old school. We're going to have that toughness. We're going to go back to the running game, because for some reason, Jerry is still living like it's 2014 or it's 1993, and it's neither one of those.
Well, I really hope they would reconsider someone like John Gruden. I really don't think that's going to happen, but
you want them to consider John Gruden?
This is the Cowboys. Anything is possible.
Are you saying you want them to think about John Gruden?
No. I do not.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Let me clarify. I do not want them to think about
Gruden. Okay. I just want to make sure that's what I thought that's what you're saying, but I just want to make sure I understood the wording.
I really don't know. Assuming this season turns out as bad as we're thinking it's going to be. I
still think they're 9-8, 10-7. I still have them in the playoffs.
So they're going to win all the road games and lose all.
Yeah, they're going to win all the road games and lose all. I still honestly, it's like I said yesterday. Like, Washington has looked really good, but it's still Dan Quinn's defense has still got the exact same issues, and you saw that yesterday against Baltimore.
You know what? With the Redskins, with Washington Commanders. Sorry, I called them the Redskins.
What is that?
Their only 2 losses were a road game to Tampa and a road game to Baltimore. Both are 4-2. Both are in the top of their division. Both are doing well. I feel that those are good losses. They haven't lost at home yet. Washington.
Oh.
So they have good losses, if there's such a thing as good losses.
Yeah, there is. I agree with that.
Jaden Daniels played well in this game. Yeah, I just love that fact that Terry McLaurin is actually getting looks. And Brian Robinson was hurt yesterday, so he's our star running back. He was hurt. I just feel like they played a good game against Baltimore. Baltimore streaking. And Baltimore beat them 30-23. Right now Baltimore, I think it's that loss was less about Washington, more about Baltimore just streaking right now. They're kind of getting a groove. Zay Flowers had 9 catches in the first half. Didn't really do much in the second half, but Mark Andrews, the biggest portion of this story, their star tight end. He had a touchdown in this game. I think he had over 60 yards receiving. And for another game in a row, Derrick Henry over 100 yards, a couple of touchdowns. That duo of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, that's going to be lethal come December, January. It's going to be hard for teams to you can stop Derrick Henry, but you can't stop Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. Or you can stop Lamar Jackson, but you can't stop Lamar and Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
So just pick your poison. Who do you want to kill you?
Exactly. So the thing with Washington, and this is everybody, this isn't just them, but when you look at who they've beaten, it's not like, they beat the Giants, they beat the Bengals, they beat the Browns. I mean, no, they beat the Cardinals. None of those are really like standout teams that they beat. Now you can make the case that the Bengals are going to figure it out, but they haven't yet. But here's the thing: the next 4 games, the Commanders have the Panthers, the Bears, the Giants, the Steelers. Every one of those are winnable games for Washington.
At worst, 2-2.
Well, no, I could see them easily going 1-3. I could see that.
Ooh, okay.
I could see. Well, I mean, the Panthers is the only gimme. The Bears, you might even make the case that might be a pick'em game.
I mean, right now, Bears are 4-2. They won 3 in a
Exactly.
row. Caleb Williams just came off a London game where he threw 4 touchdowns. Cole Kmet, 2 touchdown receptions, and he was the emergency long snapper, and they did really well. I mean, that Bears offense is looking. Keenan Allen got the other 2 touchdowns from Caleb Williams. It's a pretty impressive offense when they're clicking.
And so then Washington plays the Giants, and that's a rivalry game. It's always close. It was 21-18 to begin the year.
Yeah.
And then the Steelers. So I mean, yeah, I think the only true give me's one is Panthers. I'm like you. I see 2-2, maybe 3-1. Again, that Giant game. And then after that, it's the Eagles, it's the Cowboys, it's the Titans, it's the Saints, it's the Eagles, it's the Falcons. I mean, by schedule, Washington really should win this division at this point.
Man, Fireman, is it Fireman Ed?
Something like that.
Yeah. Over there doing the JETS, Jets, as Bills kickoff, Jet touchback. Jets start on offense. They're wearing the all white. They look great. This is a good uniform game. I would kind of wish the Bills wore different bottoms, but you know what? The all white.
I kind of wish it was their red game.
Yeah, it would have been cool too. I guess maybe it's not Christmas season yet, so they're not going to do it. But
I don't think that's what they think.
Hey, sometimes they do that. I think they actually did do that one year.
Christmas season, I love it.
I think they did that one year, post Thanksgiving, early December game on Monday night or Thursday night. I think I remember watching the Bills in all red.
Yeah, they wear red once a year. They wear the all red with a white helmet.
Yeah,
that's their color rush.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So, what did you think about Week 6 of the NFL? Any teams separating themselves from the competition?
Baltimore.
Yeah. I think Baltimore has found their identity, like I was mentioning earlier.
Yeah, I mean, you brought them up, but they've already got 1,000 yards total ground game between Henry and Jackson. Now, again, with those two, you just have to worry about injuries. I mean, that's will they, if they stay healthy? I'm the one that had Baltimore going to the Super Bowl, and I still think that means the Chiefs are 5-0, but man, they look ugly. They never look pretty, but they keep winning, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, they got Kareem Hunt, which we thought would never happen after his unceremonious exit from the Chiefs. But yeah, he's back. He had a pretty good game last week. They had a bye this week. Juju Smith-Schuster's back. He had a pretty good game. Travis Kelce starting to add himself to the offense. So yeah, the Chiefs are 5-0. They're playing great defense. They look even better on defense this year than they did last year.
Garrett Wilson with a big gain as the Jets started with the ball, and so far they're looking pretty good, man.
Yeah, great first drive. I've always told you that I'm kind of suspect on these first drives because a lot of them are pretty scripted, which is not a bad thing. You want to start off.
I'm pretty sure every team does that now.
Yeah, every team, if not every team, almost every team.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, you just and I really like it though. Like you start off, even if you just get a field goal, like that's points on the board. That adds pressure to the opposition. So, good for them.
Well, yeah, it also it starts to show defense tendencies. You can kind of at least get an idea of what they're going to do because, one of the biggest things you'll see, like in movies and stuff, a team will be struggling on one side of the ball and they'll just completely change things up in the middle of the game. It doesn't work like that. You really can't do that in a game. You have a game plan. You kind of have to stick with it. I mean, you make minor adjustments, but you can't just be like, okay, we're going to just scrap the 4-3 and run a 3-4, boys. Let's go win the game.
Yeah.
And so when you script your plays, you at least start kind of reading what the defense is going to do. And you knew this was going to be being at home, being emotional, everything happening. You for the Bills, you're basically just wanting to weather the emotional storm right now.
The emotional storm.
Breece Hall has struggled this year.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a pretty big year for Breece Hall. They added Tyron Smith, former Cowboy left tackle, fringe Hall of Famer. I'm not sure if he would actually get in.
Tyron Smith?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Okay.
I mean, if he retired right, dude, he's got like 7 All Pros. I mean, he has reached that status where, like, I don't even think it's even a question. He might not get first just because I always say if DeMarcus Ware didn't get first ballot, nobody should. But yeah, I think Tyron Smith's a guaranteed Hall of Famer.
Okay. Well, anyway,
Do you think Zach Martin is?
I think Zach Martin's more of a first ballot Hall of Famer than Tyron Smith.
Why?
Just because his name is always referenced, and the guard is such a hard position to like. There's not many. There are elite guards, but I'm trying to think of like. Tell me 3 guards better than Zach Martin in history.
In history,
and I don't think you can name 3 guards better than Zach Martin.
Larry Allen, John Hanna, Alan Fanska.
You think Alan Faneca is better?
I think he's close. I don't really know if he's better. Look, here's my thing, and this goes with Tyron Smith too. I don't know how you can reference them as Hall of Famers when they've had no playoff success, but they will. I mean, Jason Witten will make the Hall of Fame. This era's Cowboy from 2006 to now will have 4 Hall of Famers with no NFC title appearances. I mean, that's just that weird thing, how it works like that.
No, I agree. Funny thing is, if it wasn't for his hearing issues that caused a lot of false starts, Floza Adams should be on that list too.
Oh yeah, I've always said that.
I mean, Bryant Young for the 49ers can make it to the Hall of Fame, the defensive tackle for the 49ers from 94 to the late 2000s.
But he made it because he played for so long. I still don't know why he made it, to be honest with you. It sounded like everybody just thought he was a good guy.
Yeah.
And so Tyron Smith in his career.
But I mean, like we were talking about, so like, what you and I do on this show this season, we do a shot and a random guy we talk about. A few weeks ago, Seattle played on Monday Night Football, and we talked about Joe Nash.
Mm-hmm.
He was a longtime player for the Seattle Seahawks. He played his entire career with them, like 15 years. I think it's very hard to play for the same team for that long and, not be cut.
Yeah.
At a very key position to stop the run. And he went through periods of time with the Seahawks where they went from a really solid team that would win 9 to 10 games a year to a team that would win 2 games a year. And he never cut, just kept playing. Why is he not in the Hall of Fame?
Because he just didn't get enough of the personal accolades. By the way, Tyron Smith, 9 Pro Bowls and 6 All-Pro teams. That's Hall of Fame.
And honestly, I really think him and Zach Martin should be in the Hall of Fame. I'm just saying, like,
I agree, but then I know rings shouldn't matter, but they do, and so I still just go DeMarcus Ware, Jason Witten, Tyron Smith, Zach Martin. And let's not forget Travis Frederick was probably headed to 1 too, and then he got hurt.
Guillain Barr
syndrome. And then we'll just go ahead and say that Micah Parsons is headed to a Hall of Fame career. Yeah. So we're talking 5 Hall of Famers and then a possible one in Travis who could have been. And you could even make the case Travis could still get in if people will give him the Gale Sayers where, hey, injuries. Yet again, this Dallas in that franchise or in that 20-year period, Dallas will have no NFC title games.
Yeah, none at all.
You do sometimes wonder, does Dallas get overrated because they're on national TV so much? And that's why whenever Dallas has at least 10 wins, they get like 9 Pro Bowl players.
Yeah, it's true. Even Ken Hamlin made it. No, I mean, like, Tony Romo, he's a guy I always liked as a player. I feel he should be in the Hall of Fame. He's not going to make it the first ballot, but
I
think eventually he should be in.
I go back and forth on him because I do believe in that whole, like, for a guy to be a Hall of Famer, he has to at least at some point in his career for more than 1 year be considered either the best or one of the best. And I just don't know if Romo, and it's not Romo's,
2014.
it's not, but I mean, he still wasn't the best quarterback. Like,
He was fringe. He was top 5 in the MVP vote from what I remember.
yeah, but that's because the NFL only values quarterbacks. Because let's be honest, who was the more? And I love Romo, but DeMarco Murray would have been the MVP of that team. I mean, again, that's my point. And if Romo made the Hall of Fame, I'd be extremely happy, and I think he deserves it. But I do think that, again, I think he gets. We overvalue him because we're fans of the team, but I think sometimes because he's a Cowboy and he was on TV all the time,
Yeah.
then people, and that cuts both ways because then you also get knocked like he does and like Dak does. All right, the Bills start now. Their offense has kind of started struggling. Look at that. They're 5th in the league in points, but 23rd in the league in yards. That's a weird one. Of those will come back to the average. You just don't know which one.
Well, sometimes that happens because of turnovers. So a good defense can get the turnover, or good special teams can return the ball to a reasonable spot on the field. Yep. Sometimes that stat can be kind of misleading. Points are more important to me than yards.
Oh yeah, very much so.
If you can consistently score 20 to 25 points a game, you're in a good spot to win 10 or more games in a year.
James Cook out today. He'd been on the list, but he's one of those that's always on the injured list, but he always plays.
Especially the way he plays and the volume of carries he gets.
Yep, and this is his actual first game missed as a pro.
Big game, James. Let James cook. So, so I was in one fantasy football league where I had Travis Etienne Jr., I had Dallas Goedert, and I had Chris Olave.
Rough week for you, buddy.
Combined -1 points. And I'm still up by 5. My opponent has Dallas Kincaid, and he just made a catch. So my 5-point lead is probably going to be going away fairly soon.
And you have no other points?
No other points.
Yeah, you're going to lose that one.
Yeah.
But this team is very much, they will just stop throwing to the tight end at any moment. Yeah,
cool. I mean, they had a top 5 tight end in years ago with Dawson Knox still on the team. They still felt the need to draft Dallas
because he was Knox. Believe me, I had him on fantasy a couple times. He was frustrating, and he still is. Because like I say, he's still playing.
And there's a lot of people that said the same thing that you just said. He was very frustrating. So when I heard that Kincaid was coming to the Bills, I'm thinking, okay, they're going to go to the traditional New England Patriots style 2 tight ends.
You always think that. I love that. I mean,
I love it because
oh no, I do too. But I just love that you always assume, because I do too. But I've realized basically 2 tight ends now is like 2 running backs. You just want 2 tight ends at all times now. You don't want one guy because A, it's just harder to game plan, and B, tight ends one of those positions. It seems like the great ones are always banged up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Studio Cats making an appearance with Noe.
Yeah. The really good tight ends usually. I mean, I don't know what happened with Mark Andrews, but he really has been ineffective this year. A lot of really good tight ends have been ineffective this year, and
I think with him it's just a slow start. I think
it was the same thing with Travis Kelce.
I think Kelsey's an age thing too, and I also think Kansas City knows when they need Kelce, and so they're perfectly happy figuring things out. And then, hey, Kelce, when we need you in December and January and February, that because that's kind of what he did last year.
Volume management.
Remember, he didn't get 1,000 yards last year.
That's what the NBA terms it, load management.
Yep. But with them, it's not really him taking less snaps. It's just not trying to pinpoint him 30 times in a regular October game.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, tight end is probably one of my favorite positions on the offense. I'm waiting for Hawkinson to come back for the Vikings. They're 5-0. They're doing well.
But do you trust them in the playoffs?
With that Vikings team, no. I still don't know what Sam Darnold can provide. As I've talked to Packer fans, they'll tell you Aaron Jones is going to be really good for 5 or 6 games and then be hurt. So yeah, you still don't know what's going to happen right now. I mean, hey, good for them right now. They're 5-0. Take advantage of that. It's a very competitive NFC North. I think Detroit was at 4-1. Nope. Bill's about to score a touchdown. Packers 4-2, Bears 4-2. That's the most competitive division in all of football right now.
But again, you start breaking down who they all beat, and it's
I mean, very true, but record is their record. So, and I could easily see all 4 of those teams, battling it out for. I could see all 4 of those teams having winning a record or get to 10 wins, which will suck because one of those teams won't make the playoffs.
I think at least 2 will fade. I think the Bears will probably fade.
Just because of the rookie quarterback, or because
I just still think they're a team still in growing. They're not quite there yet. Their roster is way improved, but it's not like, oh my God, roster. They're still.
Do you think Minnesota will fade like they did in 03?
I think they'll fade, but I think they'll still make the playoffs. I'm the one that had them make the playoffs from the very beginning.
Now, was your dark horse team to make the playoffs this year? Yeah.
So but I think Detroit and them will. I think Green Bay will fade. Jordan Love will still very hot and cold. He can look really good in one game, and then the next game just look absolute trash.
Yeah.
I think Detroit's probably right now the best team in the NFC.
Like I told you yesterday, to me they were the most complete.
I don't see that. Their defense is trash. I don't think
their defense was good, and then they lost Aiden Hutchinson to a broken tibia.
Well, no, I mean before he got hurt, their defense is not good.
No, their defense is good. That Seattle game on Monday night was, I mean, it was not the best, but I mean, overall this season they've actually played They played way better this season than they did last season
so far. Yeah, but they also they've played one really good offense, and that was Seattle. And Seattle had their way.
Davis.
Josh Allen with a touchdown.
I think they really did good with the secondary. They added Carlton Davis from Tampa. They drafted Terrion Arnold from Alabama,
who I like. Terrion Arnold's really good.
Yeah, gets really up in there. Josh Allen touchdown. Bills up, about to be up 7-3.
So are they going to fire Jeff Ulbrich now?
I mean, they should, based off of Woody Johnson.
So do you think we kind of talked about this a little bit last week, I think it was. Do you think is there any part of that was because Saleh was wearing the Lebanon? Because Woody Johnson's very conservative. He was a Trump appointee as an ambassador to London. He's very political. Do you think there might be some of that with that?
I mean, I can't remember when Woody Johnson became owner, but I mean, Herm Edwards was a coach there. Todd Bowles was a coach there.
I didn't say he was racist. I said, I mean, Lebanon, Israel, that's a real big,
Yeah.
That's one of those things you can't.
That is an ism.
Yeah, you can't. But I'm saying is like, I don't think him liking Herm Edwards or Todd Bowles by race. I mean, you can be conservative and not racist. You can, and
true.
I don't think it's a race thing. I think it's more of a you're picking he felt Robert Saleh picked a side, and it's a side that would because I mean again,
Robert Saleh's been there for he hired him in 2021, so that's a little over 3 years he's been the head coach. First of all, you wouldn't hire him if you had certain issues.
No, but Robert Saleh maybe hadn't given any of his political views, and then all of a sudden he's wearing a Lebanese flag.
That would have been addressed at the getting to know you stage of the interview process. I figured Woody Johnson would have gone to know a little bit more about Robert Saleh.
I guess that's my point, though. I think that it was everybody was kind of surprised that Robert Saleh did that. So if Woody Johnson had no way, I don't know. I'm not saying it has anything to do with it, but it is kind of weird.
I think NFL teams were encouraged to wear a patch supporting where they're from, beliefs, what have you.
Yeah, and
So
Woody Johnson's a very conservative, very pro-Israel, and then his head coach wears a Lebanese flag supporting, in theory, Lebanon and Palestine, and all
yeah,
that. I'm not saying it's there, but I wouldn't put it past it.
yeah. I mean, you never know, but eh, I think Salah should have got the whole season personally. And if they finished 7-10 again with a healthy Aaron Rodgers for the whole year, yeah, fire him for
Well, the
sure.
thing is, I agree with you, but I also understand if you still think you have a shot and you legitimately feel like that's the guy that's holding you back, why would you ride the whole season with him and burn the season? Fire him, bring up the next guy if you still think you can make. You see what I'm saying?
But yeah, no, I agree. If he is the one holding you back, get rid of him. You have a whole season left. It's only been 5 games. They're 2-3. The division's very winnable. Make
And
the change now.
I think he's a heck of a defensive coordinator, but I don't think Robert Sala is a good head coach.
Well, I disagree with you on that second part. I really think he is a good head coach.
I mean, okay, so what is your proof on that? Like, he has done nothing.
I think he needed probably a better offensive coordinator and better quarterback. But
Okay, so you're at fault for that because you play a part that. Alexa, stop. We'll get the Alexa. Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. Damn it, woman.
you're kind of aggressive.
Sometimes she makes me mad, man. I gotta, okay, drink a little bit more, feel better about myself. No, but I think you're a little bit more hopeful. I think you think he could become a good head coach, but there is nothing that Robert Saleh has done as a Jets head coach that makes anybody think that he could be a good head coach.
I love when he runs up and down the stairs before a game, where he has like a beard and his face and like his hair's growing out a little bit. And then he takes a shower and he shaves all that and he comes out clean shaven.
What's that got to do with
I
his
have no
coaching?
idea, but
I love it. I love
it.
No, but no,
I think it was one game. I think it might have been 20. I think it was a COVID year.
Yeah,
it was with the 49ers as DC, and they were showing him running the stairs, which is a common workout for NFL players. But yeah, it was like he had kind of like a scruffy beard. Definitely, he's definitely balding, but yeah, you could see he had some hair up top. And 45 minutes before the game, took a shower, shaved all of that off.
Dude, that's got to be tough. They're showing Nathaniel Hackett. He's the Jets OC now, but he got demoted on play calling. That's got to
Aaron
suck.
Rodgers BFF.
And that is so weird. It's not like Nathaniel Hackett was in Green Bay for 15 years or something.
Yeah, I think 2 or 3.
It was 2 or 3, and he had great and Aaron Rodgers had great years. But I mean, it's like, big play by the Jets here.
Okay,
Brees Hall, is that Brees Hall?
Brees is
Brees
Hall.
For some reason, I never remember his number.
Jeff Ulbrich with a nice beard.
Okay, that's like the third time you said that. Do we need to leave you alone with him?
He has a nice beard. Yeah, so Brees Hall through midfield. Bills leading 7-3. This could be an offensive scoring game. I'll be happy with that. Play action. They were looking for a screen.
Oh, he got the double back
screen. There was a little bit of holding by the Bills defensive player, but it still turned out to a 9-yard gain. So 2nd and short.
To me, one of the biggest issues that the Jets have is outside of Garrett Wilson, they don't really have any good wide receivers.
Well, they got Mike Williams from the Chargers.
And he's always hurt.
He's always hurt. Yeah.
That was the whole reason you and I talked about it. Like, just pure on what Mike Williams can do when he was healthy, I wanted him as a Cowboy. But you just know he's not going to be healthy.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to miss 9 games a year. And so, but even that, he's a complimentary player. I don't even know if Garrett Wilson's a 1 yet. I think he's on the verge of being a 1, but I don't know. It's just this offense is just weirdly put together. It never seemed like it was a good fit. I never thought Aaron Rodgers was a good fit with the Jets anyway. But that's where he wanted to go.
Well, when after 2022, they were 7-10. They were like, well, we had Zach Wilson, and we were somehow to derp our way to 7 wins. Figure if you add a future Hall of Famer and Aaron Rodgers, you can go from 7 wins to 10 wins, probably 12 wins. Get into the playoffs, and once you're in the
But
playoffs, it's a whole
like,
different story.
That's like a Madden thing, like a video game thing. Oh, if I just put this guy there, it's not just talent; it's fitting the team. And for me, the biggest issue. Oh, almost a accidental pass. The biggest issue with Aaron Rodgers is this is a young team.
Yeah.
And while you'd love to say, "Hey, it's veteran Aaron Rodgers," he doesn't, especially over the last few years, doesn't really instill any kind of team rah-rah, team camaraderie, none of that. And so it legitimately feels like when they got Brett Favre, it just doesn't, it's like trying to just, oh, he is, look, Mike Williams is playing.
Yeah, he is healthy today.
Well, let's not go that far. He's playing. It just, I don't know, this just never felt like a good fit. It just never felt like.
Are you talking about a guy who played for the Packers for 15 years, then gets traded to the Jets is not a good idea?
Yeah, as long as he's not sending dick pics.
You act like this has never happened before, sir.
I'm just saying this. If Aaron Rodgers was having his 21st birthday party, would any Jet show up?
Okay, draft day.
I'm just saying,
all
would
right.
any Jet show up? That's all I'm saying.
That is a good point.
Jets have moved the ball well here in the first 2 drives. First drive ended in a field goal. This one at least into the red zone.
Yeah, they're definitely matriculating the ball down the field, boys. Ball to 7, first and goal for the Jets. Down 7-3. Handoff. Braylon Allen for 1 yard down to the 6, second and goal.
Speaking of Wisconsin running back Braylon Allen.
Yeah.
4th round pick in this year.
They know how to turn out running backs and offensive linemen.
And Bo Callahan.
We're just going to be referencing draft.
What was the most unbelievable part of that movie? Any of it or Sam Elliott as the head coach at Wisconsin?
I'm thinking that trade later in the movie, but yeah.
That almost happened in real life.
Yeah.
Oh, ball's tipped and almost intercepted.
You can't call pass interference. Yeah, they were complaining, but the referee even called it this. Hold on. Can they see? Yeah. This is called tip, which means you can't call pass interference.
Well, you can be interfered before the tip, but nobody ever calls ahead before the tip.
Okay.
And there wasn't even interference, even without the tip. That's not interference like at all.
I'll have to cut you off, sir.
There's a big 3rd down and goal for the Jets.
Any window from you.
2 wides to each side. Shotgun formation back to the left of Rodgers. That's Braylon Allen. Rodgers back to pass, looking, stepping up, looking, going to throw deep in the end zone. Did he get him? Nope. They're going to call it incomplete.
Out of bounds.
I want to see that on replay.
Oh, they're complaining, which means they might be right per rules of NFL.
Here we go. And boom. Oh, yeah, that's a touchdown. Touchdown.
Yep. He has a left knee, right foot.
I see why he called him out, though, because it's bang, bang, and you look at the official, he's looking at that inside knee. So he can't see that knee. Yeah. He can only see that knee. That's a touchdown, though. Great catch.
He saw the right knee on the
white.
Yeah, but the right foot, I think, hits. Yeah, the right foot hits inbounds before the right knee hits out of bounds.
Well, it's not the foot, though. If it was just, they're going to call a touchdown.
No, I'm saying the left knee hits inbounds. The right foot also hits inbounds. That's their 2 points right there.
Yeah.
But I think the referee at the time saw the right knee hit before the right foot.
I guess I didn't realize that Garrett Wilson changed his number too.
What was his number before?
17. Garrett Wilson of Lake Travis. Down in Austin, a 6'8" power.
Big time.
Baker Mayfield play there.
BM.
So the Jets answer the Bills' touchdown with a touchdown of their own, pending the extra point from 90-year-old Nick Folk.
Folklore.
Is he the kicker
misses. fantastic.
Is he? He's not the kicker with the Jets, is he?
I think he is.
I thought he was with.
I want to say.
Wait,
is.
he made it.
Oh, is it Legatron?
Yeah, it's Legatron because Nick Folks with the Cincinnati or New England, I
Let me
think.
just look it up. Right there for you,
But yeah, that was good, by the way. You said it was no good.
and it's. Oh, they called it good?
Yeah, it was like very good.
No,
I don't know what
it was way off.
I didn't know what you were thinking of.
Bro, it was way off.
All right, bro. You want to go, bro?
Yeah, I want to go.
Where do you want to go?
I mean, like, can we get ice cream?
Maybe if you're good.
All right. Do my best.
Dude, Zach Braff looks weird.
It is Legatron.
Zach Braff looks weird.
Plastic surgery?
I don't know. I don't think so. I just think.
I think both of them had surgery.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. You're right. Oh, wow. I don't think Zach, though. I think he's one of those that his boyish good look now looks weird because he's old.
Yeah.
Because he still has that baby face. And he also dates like 19-year-olds.
Oh, that's creepy.
He was dating, what's her name? Pugh. What's her first name? From Marvel.
Oh, Florence Pugh.
Yeah, he was dating Florence Pugh for a while, which, I mean, good on him for that.
Yeah.
You're winning at life.
Well, he was on Scrubs, so.
Love Scrubs.
Commercial break 7 to 10.
Okay, so let's go ahead and start talking it. Once again, Dallas looked like crap on defense, and yes, their offense struggled and all that. But I mean, at the beginning, it's all about this defense right now.
Worst home loss since 1988. Tom Landry's last year.
And
a scoregami. Another scoregami.
Was it another scoregami? That's 2 already this year, isn't it?
I can't wait to see what the 49ers do to us after the bye week.
You know what? I actually think Dallas can beat 49ers. The Niners do not look good either.
Hey, at this point, I think Dallas is going to win all the road games.
That would be hilarious.
I think there's too much pressure to play at home. And I think that
pressure from who?
I think, hey, whatever happened in that playoff game started a trend because – they don't like playing it here anymore.
You know what happened? It's like the Family Guy when he goes to the doctor and he misremembers and the doctor is whispering in his ear about, his prostate. That's what happened to him. Yeah. Green Bay whispered in their ear and it's really effed them up.
Yeah. That again, when people say they miss Dan Quinn, I point to games like that.
I haven't heard anybody say that. Like everybody's,
it's just online. Like no one that actually told me up front.
Oh yeah, I mean, I figured it wasn't like somebody but I'm just saying, like, in fact, most people I've actually been pretty impressed with the fan base that's pretty stupid that they've actually been like, I haven't heard that. Like I've just heard like, hey, we need to get rid of Mike McCarthy, and I feel bad for Mike McCarthy because Mike McCarthy's done nothing wrong,
I mean, he can't be blamed for a defense that was trash, a running game that can't run.
I mean, he can't be blamed for the defense. That's not his thing. Do you really think he had a say with who they hired? That was a Jerry Jones hire all the way. And by the way, again, we were perfectly on board with Mike Zimmer coming back. I now realize I got to stop rooting for the old defensive coordinators.
That's our problem.
Yeah, because it was Mike Nolan, Monte Kiffin
too. No,
yeah,
not just you. But we wanted him as our head coach a long time ago, too.
Yeah.
So, and we respected what he did with the Bengals and as a head coach for the Vikings in the 2010s. He did really well. It's just he followed Dion to Jacksonville State, and then was Jacksonville State or Jackson State? Oh, anyway,
Jackson State. Yeah,
Jackson State. He went to Colorado. Was a consultant. I think the game might have just passed him by. It's been 6 games.
I also just don't think that this roster fits what he does defensively.
Probably not.
Again, if I'm Dallas, I go with a 3-4. You got Micah Parsons, who literally is a TJ Watt starter kit, and we watch TJ Watt and you watch how unblockable he is, not only because he's amazing, but because in that 3-4, he can wide 9 line up. And that means lining up not only on the outside shoulder of the defensive end, but basically the outside shoulder of the outside shoulder of the defensive end. And you can't double team TJ Watt because you can't get anybody out there quick enough. And I don't understand, like you and I were talking about this, the fear we had with Micah Parsons with fourth down. Wow, good stop. The fear we had was with Zimmer not use him. It would always be like, well, when he's at linebacker, he should have been at end, and when he's at end, he should have been at linebacker. And that's exactly what has happened in the time that he's played. Now, again, he hasn't played much, and he's been hurt. But I mean, it wasn't like he was tearing things up before then. He had a sack in the first game, and then honestly, I don't know if he's touched the quarterback since then. And it just feels like he's in no man's land. He's never where he can make an impactful play.
Well, right now, Parsons is out. DeMarcus Lawrence is out. Eric Kendricks is out. Deron Bland is out.
Well, Bland, Kendricks, and Parsons all should be back for the next game. Lawrence is the only one that they're worried about. In fact, Bland, they said Bland, if yesterday would have been a playoff game, Bland could have actually probably played. Or if it was like, not usually all games are important, but like if it was in December and it was against Washington for the division lead.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what. 3-3 going into the break. You got 11 games to go. I'm okay with it. They're not 2-4. They're not 1-5.
I just don't like how they're getting beat.
They're getting whooped. They're looking embarrassing. And they're looking embarrassing at home. They're wearing those damn blue jerseys. Can't win with them.
Got nothing to do with it.
Can't coach them.
Can't coach. But no, it's just, again, and we talked about this. We knew it was going to be this type of season.
Yeah.
We both had them making the playoffs in our picks, but neither one of us had them winning the division. I said 9-8, 10-7 just feels right, but it's just like, dude, be competitive. And especially after you feel so good about what you did against Pittsburgh, you go on the road. You beat a team that's now 4-2, and we can joke about, well, Pittsburgh does this, but that's just what great throw. What?
No, that should not have been pass interference.
I think it's going to be.
They're going to call it.
It's going to be holding and pass interference. So this should be unless it's both. Oh wait, maybe it was an offsides because there was a first flag too. I got to see this though.
It didn't seem like there was any holding, but yeah.
Garrett Wilson looks like he's a little banged up.
And he just probably winded. I'm going to take off the rest of the series.
Oh, no, legal formation. So it is offsetting penalties.
Wow. Break for the Jets.
Robert Saleh's laughing now.
And Aaron Rodgers is pissed. Or was it legal formation?
Yep.
Wow. That's a very correctable play, but you don't expect that to happen in week 6. He hit him before, but technically, that is pass interference.
Yeah, technically, but that's not called a lot.
Yeah. Man, that was a pretty bad penalty by the Jets. That is something that would happen in the preseason or week 1. That shouldn't happen in week 6. Especially with, the head coaching change that happened this week.
I mean, how much did they get to really practice, though, with all that? Great filling the lane right there.
Bills. Yeah. Gap open, gap closed. Just like you're taught.
So that'll be the end of the first quarter.
Yeah. End of 1. Fireman Fred pumped. He's looking forward to the Jeff Ulbrich era. He seemed like he's looking forward to the Jeff Ulbrich era.
What we're going to do real quick is we're going to take a break.
That means it's bug season. Heck, who am I kidding? It's always bug season in Texas. And that's why you need Grandeur Pest Solutions in your corner. They're locally owned and operated. They're trained, they're trustworthy, and they have a proven record as they have been in business for almost 10 years. They provide pest control against ants, bed bugs, bees, roaches, fleas, wasps, mosquitoes, rodents, spiders, If it crawls and you don't like it, they're probably going to take care of it for you. Now, they serve all of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and they're locally owned. These two guys have been running this business since 2013, and every year they get bigger and bigger. But you know what they still do? They still have great customer service. In fact, if you get a hold of them, they're usually going to have your quote and your job ready to go within 48 hours. That's pretty good. Now, you can call them for a free estimate at 469-809-1769. You can find them online at Grandeur4, that's the number 4, shore.com. You can also find them on Facebook. Just type in Grandeur Pet Solutions, and we are so happy that they're title sponsor for OutDrank The Coverage in 2023.
And we're back. I'm intern Noe, the pro.
How long were you out?
Well, it just came back, sir. Sorry, I'm talking to Terry, the host, Bennett. In the first quarter, Jets up 10-7 on the Bills, but not football in the Meadowlands. We're live from the studio. As the host sits down and gets his microphone on, I want to ask him what his favorite game was of this weekend.
I think Washington, Baltimore.
I think so too. I think that was a really good game between two teams that kind of know themselves at this point in the season.
Yep. Love watching Jaden Daniels play. Like you said, getting Terry McLaurin finally involved. As being a true focal point. He's one of those guys that, because of the quarterback situation, hasn't really been able to put up the type of numbers that he's capable of. And he's already year 5? I mean, you're already talking about he's halfway through his career.
Yeah.
And so, we'll see if Jaden Daniels can continue it. I think he will. I still think that Washington defense is going to be a big problem. And you saw that yesterday. You never felt that Baltimore was in danger of losing that game, or I didn't, not because of the offense, but of Washington, but because of Washington's defense. And that's not a Dan Quinn thing necessarily. It's just, he's got to rebuild that roster. This is a roster that 2 years ago thought it was going to be Chase Young and then what's his name, Montez Sweat. And neither one of them are there anymore.
Yeah, Chase Young's with the Saints. Montez Sweat's with the Bears.
Sweat's having a great career. Chase Young's just kind of holding on at this point.
Yeah, taking some. Hey, Saints paid him good money to do basically nothing.
Did they pay him good money?
For what his production is, yeah.
Is it? I couldn't remember.
It was. I think it was over $10 million from what I remember.
That seems about right. 1 year, $2 million deal. And I think Young, he showed it last year with the Niners. He could, on a team where he's not the focal point, he can be dangerous. Boy, Garrett Wilson's going off in this game.
I think they're finding something there with those slants. 1st and 10, New York, not football Jets.
So the thing is is this because of Robert Saleh not being there, or because Nathaniel Hackett? Because I think it's more because of Nathaniel Hackett. Because as much as I'm giving you a hard time about you saying that Robert Saleh was a good head coach, he is a good defense coordinator, and the defense was playing very well.
Yeah.
And I know Albrecht calls most of the plays for defense, but Saleh was still there. It's his scheme. It's his.
And both Albrecht and Saleh were going to moat Hackett. So.
Well, Saleh wanted to. We don't know if he'd have been allowed to. I think the only reason Albrecht is because Woody Johnson's not stupid enough to go, okay, if I fire one guy and name him head coach, and then he says, hey, can I demote a guy? I can't cut his leg out that quick. I have to let him. And I think it was a good job. Look, Nathaniel Hackett might be a great dude. His dad, famous Paul Hackett. I never thought he was a good coach. I never really cared what he did as an offensive coordinator. I think offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, they're going to get credit or blame 90% of the time. It's talent on the roster.
Yeah.
It's like Jimmy said, you got the X's and O's, give me the Jimmys and Joes. And I think in today's football that's overanalyzed and schemes and schematics, I think we forget that at the end of the day, it's the best roster still wins 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. Talent usually wins over.
Good. I love watching the Bills safeties and linebackers, man. They go downhill.
put your damn mouth guard in. If you're not going to put your mouth guard in, just don't have it strapped to your helmet. I'm sorry. That is such a pet peeve of mine. It's becoming more of a pet peeve. I noticed it last year. I was telling you this off air. I noticed it last year in the high school championship shows that we did a live stream of, and Texas high school championship, to clarify. But I just keep noticing now. I see it at the college level. I see it at the pro level. Like, what are you hiding? Like, if you don't want to wear your mouth guard, just don't have it strapped to
Well, you
your.
have to have one on. You have to have a mouth guard, or you can't be on the field. So that's why.
But so it's okay to just have it dangling. Like,
Yeah, you just have to have one.
that makes no sense. I think the NFL should be enforcing that. Like, if they see
Oh,
someone
I
with
agree,
a
dude. I
dangling,
agree.
yeah. I didn't realize that rule, but if that's blah blah blah. If that's the case, NFL should enforce a rule where 15-yard penalty if they see a dangling mouth guard
A
during a
dangling
play.
participle.
Yeah, I mean, like, seriously, this is player safety. Now, I think sideline to sideline they do a promotional.
Power plus mouth guards.
Yeah.
Or Neuro plus mouth guard. Neuro guard plus mouth guard. I'll get it right here. I think.
I mean, you had a lot of athletes and figures on your promotional ad talking about the benefits of it. So I'm like, okay, come on. I remember how important it was when I was playing. You remember how important it was.
It's just one of those weird things, dude. And it's not a new thing. Players, you and I talk about it. We both love Michael Irvin. He had the old school, big, old, like,
yeah,
huge, had not only the mouth guard, but it had the whole nose to chin protection.
Yeah.
But I can also remember so many other pros back then never wearing their hell. You got to realize there's players that never even buckle their chin strap, which just blows my mind.
Yeah. No, right now we're in a commercial break.
A weird one.
Yeah. Phone commercial. iPhone 16 Pro. Neither of us are much of an Apple product user.
I had a iPhone in 2015 for a hot minute. In fact, it was back when I was on AT&T, and it was a refurb. It was one of the SC. I liked it. It was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I don't have a preference though.
I feel like iPhone users are part of a cult.
They are. They're the 10% that thinks they're the 90%, which makes it even funny. I went back this year for the first time in 10 years back to Samsung. I had been actually on Motorola and really enjoyed Motorola, and I'm really enjoying Samsung back being on the Galaxy.
I'm on my Samsung 21 for over 3 years now. No problems. It's perfect. I kind of switch in and out between having a case on my phone and not having a case.
That's weird.
I just like the look. Some of these phones are nicely designed. I kind of like to showcase it, So.
I mean, I like the look, but I also don't want to drop my phone and break it.
Yeah, that's true.
Stephen A. Smith commercial. Wow.
I know he's happy that the Cowboys got blown out. And I think he's a big Giants fan, right?
He is, but the whole Cowboy thing's just a bit.
Yeah.
It's just as big as Skip Bayless claiming he is a Cowboy fan.
Which, as Cowboy fans, we don't claim him.
He never was. When he was here with a ticket and when he was writing for the Dallas Herald and eventually the Dallas Morning News, he was everything was contrarian. That's just what Skip Bayless does. And that's fine. That's your bit. But we'll have that episode down the road about how people like him and Stephen A. Smith, in my opinion, ruined what used to be fun in that sports debate.
Mm-hmm.
You used to debate, you go back to, like, you think of Coming to America. When they go into the barbershop and they're talking about just sports and they're just talking about how great they were. And it wasn't like, well, rings. That's all anybody cares about now. And I know I've said this many times on this show, and I said it on Sideline to Sideline. So many people forget great players and stuff. Simply like, well, how many rings they get? And it's not even like you can't even just be good now. You're either great or you're trash. There's no in between. And that kind of stuff just blows my mind. And it just makes sport not, and I don't mean like me and you talking sports on this, but like just talking sports on Facebook, it's just not enjoyable because we dropped it.
Great.
Oh, we caught it.
Got it.
But there are multiple flags, so we're gonna see what all this is gonna do.
Yeah. So Josh Allen back in his end zone, roll to his right, under pressure, heaves it midfield, makes the catch. Multiple flags though, so we'll see what the penalty is. Pass interference on the defense. Penalty declined.
So the play stands.
Play stands. First down. Great clutch play for the Buffalo Bills. Nobody circles the wagon like the Buffalo Bills. Davis with the great catch, double covered.
Ooh, I'd almost. Ooh, if I was them, I'd be snapping the ball quick. I mean, well, they do get pass interference either way, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Ball's gonna be spotted there anyway.
And we have
false start. Come on, guys.
And that's the most Buffalo Bill thing right there. You get something good, and then you immediately just crap it. And that's why Sean McDermott still can't quite get a full hold on. Like, you always feel like he's one step away from being fired.
Now, I was about to ask you, is he in a make it or break it season?
Oh, God, yeah.
So how far does he have to go to ensure he...
AFC title game.
Okay.
At least.
Now, he did make it in 2020, but that was the COVID year. You almost have to put an asterisk to all sport teams for that season.
So you said that we were talking about the Dodgers. You said it, and I don't get that at all. Every team plays under the exact same rules.
Yeah.
Like I would get it if the Dodgers, played under COVID rules, but I mean, everybody played under those. Just like people will say, well, that LeBron Laker one doesn't really count. Well, why? Everybody played in the same rules.
They all play in the same rules, but it was unique rules. Rules for 1 year that don't apply to every year. So you don't know what would have happened that season had the rules just been the same like every other year. Like, for example, men's college basketball. There's a case to be made that, Obi Toppin and Dayton probably could have run the table and won the national championship, or Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
Some people said that was the best Kansas team ever. But I would say the mid-major like Dayton could have really surprised some teams, or Florida State could have surprised some teams. But we'll never know.
Yeah, but I mean, that season was stopped. They didn't name a champion. They just didn't play the tournament.
Yeah.
The Lakers won the tournament
in a bubble. Like
everybody else was in a bubble.
No,
that's
true,
my
but
point.
It was a special case situation.
But everybody was in that special case.
I'm okay with everybody having the same rules, but it's not the same rules that would apply every single other season.
That doesn't matter to me. I mean, it applied that year.
It matters to me because going into the season, you're assuming those rules, and then a global pandemic happens and things change. You're not planning for that.
Yeah.
So
but I'm just saying,
like, that's why you throw stuff out.
What?
Kudos to the Lakers. Kudos to the Buccaneers. Kudos to
Tampa Bay Lightning.
Should have been the Stars. Kudos to the Dodgers on all winning championships. But honestly, there's still going to be an asterisk for those teams because they won it under different circumstances. I don't
understand the asterisk when all the teams were playing under the same circumstances.
They're playing going into the season. That was not something that they were expecting.
Again, though, all the teams are playing under the same.
Think about let's assume a pandemic happens tomorrow, and it shortens the season. And now, we got to play a 4-week tournament to determine the champion.
Okay. So why doesn't anybody think that when it comes to the 82 Washington or 87 Washington?
Oh, I think there's an asterisk there.
Really? You're the only person I've ever heard say that. Like, I've never heard anybody say, well, that 82 Redskin really wasn't that good because
because both of them, you go into the season thinking it's going to be a whole season, and then
I'm not understanding what that like again,
because you plan to you plan a season a certain way,
another penalty,
and then a work stoppage happens.
Yeah.
And that changes everything. You weren't planning for that.
But it changes it for everybody.
That does change for everybody.
So if it's uniform,
but some teams are not as prepared for that as others.
Now, if we were now, I agree with you. Like if people are starting to go, okay, where do the 2020 Lakers fall on the the landscape of the greatest teams? Where do they fall? Then I can get saying, okay, their situation's different because of that. But when you're just talking about like the validity of a championship, all those teams in 2020 won valid champions because they all played under the same rules. Whether those rules changed or not, regular into the season or not, they still played under the same rules. So the Lakers won the title is no less a title.
Okay, yeah. No. It still is a title.
Mm-hmm.
I'll acknowledge the title, but I'm still gonna put an asterisk because the rules changed during the season. Yes, it changed for everybody else, but some teams were not as well equipped to adjust to it. I mean,
wasn't that on them for not being able to adjust then?
How are you going to adjust to a global pandemic?
Well, I mean, the Lakers did. They won a title. Who'd they play? The Heat?
I think it was the Heat.
Yeah, the Heat did. Hell, even the Mavericks did. The Mavericks shocked the world. But if you played
a few more games, the Phoenix Suns could have shocked the world. That was when they started going on a roll, and the very next season they made it to the NBA Finals.
But I mean, that
like could, I'm just saying, like
incomplete pass thrown into the end zone. But I mean, that you can say that about a regular season. How many times do you see that? Almost every year, you see one team who ends up not making the playoffs, but they're the hottest team, and they fell a few. They were a week late getting started. I mean, that happens every year. I get what you're saying in the general, and I get it if you're trying to compare a 2020 team, no matter the sport, to other eras. But just inside that season, people are, and I get a lot of it just because it's LeBron, but people are like, well, yeah, that Laker and that Dodgers, they don't really count because they were in the bubbles. Well, yeah, but they were wide open. Man, this is where if you're a Jet fan, this is where if you're a Jet fan, you got to be frustrated because you've played pretty darn good tonight.
Yeah.
Just a couple key mistakes, pass interference, illegal formation when you had a pass interference for you, and now you're trailing, and it doesn't feel like they should be trailing.
Yeah, I mean, well, if their defense could stop the Bills, yeah, they shouldn't be trailing. But that big conversion for Josh Allen when he's basically in his own end zone,
yeah,
that was the difference, right? Yeah, that led him on the scoring drive.
Good point.
And Mac Hollins is a big target. They don't have Gabe Davis or
Stephon
Diggs.
Whoa!
Oh, wow.
Whoa!
Okay, so that's a miss.
I
thought Legatron missed his extra point, but that was for sure a miss.
I think that kicker needs to be investigated for trying to shave points because that was a worm burner. Here we go. Let's see. Was it blocked?
Yeah, it was blocked. But it looked like it was going to be missed anyway.
I don't think it was.
No, it was blocked. It was blocked.
I hope they reshow Will Arnett. He's funny. Oh, the Muppets are back. I love the Muppets.
Just in time for Christmas? Or is it
Halloween
special?
I think it's just
Taraji P. Henson.
I think it's just a bunch of different. Yeah, it's just all their movies.
Like Joel Osment. Oh,
yeah, that was Sixth Sense.
Oh,
Smile. Great movie.
Smile. That facial expression that lady makes in that movie, smile.
In fact, me and studio wife are going to go watch Smile 2 here in 2 weeks. It comes out.
I saw it October 18th, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're going to go see it the next weekend, the 25th. I hate local commercials.
I can't remember the last time I watched a commercial.
I only, because you and I watched the Red Zone, it's only on Monday and Thursday night and Sunday night for me. And on Sunday night, because I watch through the Peacock, a lot of times you just get the "we'll be right back." They don't even show a commercial.
Live?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking at the computer just to see if we were live or not.
But... Yeah. We didn't turn off the show.
Oh, okay. Hello, everybody.
We got like 5,000-6,000 now.
Hey.
That's 7,000 earlier.
Living the dream, sir.
Yeah, we're living the dream.
Yeah.
Sitting here watching the Jets and the Bills.
This is a much more competitive game than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be a really ugly game. I thought right now it's 13-10 Bills.
Mm-hmm.
I think you had made the joke that 13-9 might be the final score.
I thought there was a world that if you got the Jets playing really good defense,
Yeah.
and they would muck it up. But I thought you thought the Jets were going to come out and win.
No, I thought the Bills were going to win 31-17.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You did say that.
That was my
31-17. I
prediction.
remember. Which, I mean, that's kind of, I could still see that. The Jets have, again, you're kind of getting the Jets season in a game right here. At times they're playing well, but they're just shooting themselves in the foot.
Yep.
And that's got nothing to do with Robert Saleh or Hackett or even Aaron Rodgers. That's just the Jets this year.
Yeah. Also a former Packer, Aaron Jones.
Yep.
Well, before they get back on the field, what do you think about Bengals and Giants Sunday Night Football? It's pretty ugly.
Boring, ugly. I fell asleep.
Some people would say Lou Anarumo got his defense going for the Bengals. I would say that Danny Dimes is Danny Dimes once every 5 weeks. And they missed Singletary and they missed Malik Neighbors.
Now, I will say this. I think Daniel Jones has played closer to 2023 or 2022. Is that when they made the playoffs?
22, yeah.
He's played closer to 2022 Daniel Jones than bad Daniel Jones this year. Look, this Giants roster is just not good. Their head coach is just not good.
Yeah.
They've got to figure that out. Again, goes back to the problem is they fired so many coaches so quick. Joe Judge, McAdoo, what's his name? The offensive coordinator for Green Bay who came over. He lasted 1 year. Yeah, Shermer. So the problem is when you keep making bad hires, eventually one of them is going to get longer than they should because you're just kind of tired of firing the coach.
Yeah.
And DeBall is getting that. I'm sorry. I don't think DeBall. I still think that they were stupid. I thought they fired McAdoo way too quick.
Yeah.
Not that I thought McAdoo was some great coach, but he was given the unenviable task of basically taking Eli Manning and putting him out to pasture.
Yeah.
And he kind of got scapegoated when he finally made that decision to sit him. And then everybody hated him for doing it. It's kind of like the whole in 1989, fired Tom Landry, and then they fire him. Like, what are you doing? That's kind of what happened to McAdoo with Eli Manning. It was a no-win situation.
2nd and 10, Rodgers throws it.
Rodgers been looking sharp tonight.
Yeah,
I will give him that. And I'll say this. Look, his weirdness is known now, but just watching a quarterback, he's one of the best.
Yeah.
I mean, he is just a joy to watch.
I think with his problem is like there's a perception that he doesn't have a connection with his teammates.
He doesn't. It's not a perception. That's what Green Bay's talked about it. California talked about it.
Flea flicker, sack.
Literally the whole Bo Callahan draft day, that's based off of Aaron Rodgers. Like just this idea that nobody can really say anything bad about Aaron Rodgers at California, but there also wasn't this big, we love Aaron. We'd die for Aaron. It was more like he's just kind of awkward. And that was talked about a lot. I can remember that on the draft day interviews and stuff, like the notes. And it was like his teammates thought he meant well and all, but he's kind of awkward. And that's kind of how he is now. Like he's very awkward.
When you do a flea flicker like that, you got to make a decision. I think the line protection and the running backs staying back and protecting did a decent job, but Aaron Rodgers has to make that decision quick and just get the ball out of his hand.
Well, they are a slant throwing machine tonight.
They see something with the Buffalo Bills defense. Slants seem to be working. Rodgers just threw a pass to Garrett Wilson, slant, caught. Now it's 3rd and 10. They got back to the line of scrimmage, the original line of scrimmage. We'll see what they do here. Yeah, the Packers have a lot of weapons. They still have Alan Lazard. He's a big target.
I mean, the Jets.
What did I say?
Packers.
Dadgummit. Former Packer, Alan Lazard.
I think Alan Lazard's toes cooked. I think he's done.
Well, good for him for taking the money.
I mean, he's one of those that never maxed out to where you thought he would be. Injuries mainly being the big thing. Inconsistency.
Yeah, Size said he should.
Christian Watson's kind of the same way. Like he shows those flashes, but he can't stay healthy. He's not consistent. He disappears for long stretches. Unless he's playing the Cowboys.
I think Watson has the desire to achieve those goals.
Slant. They're showing the snap
Screen.
to pass.
They have a lot of talented receivers. They
See, I disagree. I totally. I think
Oh.
they have one. Garrett Wilson. Everybody else is trash. Oh,
3rd and 15.
oh,
Man, that left tackle. I can't believe he just let that guy just go around him.
Was that Tyron?
Yeah.
I thought that was the right side. Oh no, you're right.
Yeah. Number 77, future Hall of Famer Tyron Smith.
Just got beat.
Oh, flat-footed, buddy.
Just got beat.
Yeah. AJ Epinesa, right?
Yeah, I think that's how you say it.
Yeah,
But no,
AJ
I think
just
the
got around
Jets.
Tyron Smith got the sack.
I don't think the Jets have talented wide receiver. That's the whole reason they're looking at Devontae Adams. I think you got Garrett Wilson, and then again, Mike Williams could be if Mike Williams. But even then, he's been healthy this year, and he hasn't been
I
really.
just don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where Devontae's going to go. He ain't going to go to the Saints because, Carr is hurt. And I don't think he want to go to this Jets team.
Wait, why would he not want to? Why would he not go to the Saints just because Carr is hurt?
Because that's his BFF.
Yeah, but I mean that doesn't.
That is a major problem. He loves him some Derek Carr. He was not happy when Derek Carr got traded to the Saints. He still stayed, and it didn't work out that well last season. Oh, Venom.
Yeah, coming out the 25th. I have liked them. Everybody hates Venom. I think they're freaking hilarious and funny, and
They got a really good actor.
I'm not a big comic book guy, so this is kind of anti-comic book, and
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, Venom is such a good, honestly, and I mean, like for years, I've thought this. Brock Lesnar would have been the perfect Venom. He looks exactly his body type.
Yeah, I can see
It's
that.
exactly.
I mean, he can't act, but the
he can't
Venom
act.
side,
Yeah.
100%.
But the body, like just for the body for Venom, Brock Lesnar. He looks exactly like what Venom should be.
Was that Abby?
Maybe we have a paranormal activity situation going
Darla's right there.
Maybe
We just
a haunted house part 3.
part 3. Mandingo party.
Yeah, cuz.
Yeah, cuz. All right. I love the Heisman.
Yeah.
I love that they brought him
You
back.
can just bring up any former Heisman winner. I haven't seen who's the Oklahoma quarterback 20 years ago? Jason Davis? No, Jason
White?
Jason White, yeah. I haven't seen him on there.
Well, they don't have every one of them on there.
But I think it would be cool to have like one commercial with 5 or 6 new ones,
Oh no, I don't disagree with you at all.
have,
Earl
like,
was on one of the early ones.
And have like the oldest living Heisman winner with the newest one.
Yeah.
So Jaden Daniels with whoever's alive still.
Yeah, I know Ricky and Earl have been on there a couple times, but both of them were back when they first started.
Ricky Williams, should he be a Hall of Famer?
No. I wish he would, but he wasn't. He didn't play enough. He wasn't consistent enough. He never was. Again, goes back to he never was the best of his era. He was never even.
Derek Mason, should he be the Hall of Famer?
Oh, God, no.
Okay. Have you looked at their stats?
Derek Mason is.
Have you looked at both of their stats?
Well, yeah, neither one of them have anything past. They just were good for a long time. They were consistent.
Okay.
That shouldn't get you in the Hall of Fame. I know it does. I know Frank Gore will get in. I don't think Frank Gore should be in the Hall of Fame. Frank Gore was never great. He was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Mason, I think Derek Mason's one of those prime if you'd have put him on another team because he still had good stats for a team that didn't throw the ball a lot. But he never was like, you never said top 3 wide receivers, and Derek Mason never crossed anybody's lips. But I loved watching him play.
True. Longevity, consistency, to me, should go a long way, but I get it.
Oh, no,
the reason why I say Derek Mason, a few months ago, I was looking him up. He had like over 12,000 yards.
Yeah, he has way better stats than you realize.
And that's why I think Ricky Williams, even though he missed years of the NFL, he still has like 11,000 rushing yards.
Yeah, but he just never was. There was never a time when you thought Ricky Williams was one of the best running backs in the league.
And then Frank Gore has the 3rd most all time with 16,000.
And he'll get in, and that's fine. Again, none of these people, I'm fighting that they get in. If they get in, they get in.
You're not going to stand up.
Yeah, I'm not going to make it.
Outside of Cooperstown.
Yeah.
Protest.
Well, it'd be weird to be in Cooperstown since the football Hall of Fame's in Canton.
Oh, yeah.
That would be the perfect way to
But
fight.
remember
that would be the perfect way to argue. Like he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Go to the wrong Hall of Fame and do it.
That reminds me of the gift you got me, where it was a football, I guess whiskey bottle.
Yeah, Cantor.
But it said Cooperstown on it.
Uh-huh.
Canton, Ohio is where the Pro Football Hall of Fame is at, but Cooperstown was it New York?
Yep.
Cooperstown, New York is where the Baseball Hall of Fame was at. So.
But that's where the brewing the company that bottled it. Yeah. No, I love that about that. But no, like I said, I'd have no problem if they get in. And I know Frank Gore will get in, but Frank Gore was never considered one of the great running backs. He was just really good. And I agree with you that longevity and consistency means something, but it shouldn't be what gets you into the Hall of Fame. It should be the topping of the getting you into. You know what I mean?
Oh, Floyd Little, should he be in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know enough about his stats.
He is, but
no, I mean I know he's in, but I don't know enough.
He was a great player on not the best Denver Bronco teams, and he wasn't on the 77 team that made the Super Bowl, but he was on the late 60s to early to mid 70s. I'm trying to say is like,
but didn't Floyd Little lead the league in rushing and stuff?
He might have, yeah. And it was a 14-game season, so I know he had 1,000 yards one year. I played that Immaculate Grid game on Pro Football.
I got to get back to doing that. I have fun doing it. It's just
it takes some time because you want to spend time to just sit there and think about it because not only when you want to find a connection. Immaculate Grid is it's 9 squares. You have teams vertically, teams horizontally, and you're trying to say, okay, who played for the Packers and the Texans?
Yeah. And you're trying to be as rare as possible.
Yeah, you can't just say I can't think of Ahmad Green.
Yeah.
Like you can't say him because that's too obvious. That's gonna be a high percentage. You have to think of someone that's rare. I can't think of anyone.
Who are your two teams? I forgot.
Packers and Texans. And so it can be Oilers. The Texans are 0-2 to now.
Yeah, it can't. It's
So if I said Tennessee Titans,
it can be Oilers or Titans. Well, I mean, outside of them, I agree, but that was one of the worst deals the Texans made. Yeah, there haven't been a lot of crossover between those two.
Yeah. Now I love it. Some weeks it was like Browns and Ravens. I'm like, okay, Derek Alexander.
Yeah.
Someone that played on the 95 Browns and the 96 Ravens, aka the same teams, just in different cities.
Places. Yep.
Yeah. So I have Vinny Testaverde, Leroy Horde.
What do you what is your thoughts on Vinny Testaverde's career?
Long. He's probably in the top 20 all time in a lot of quarterback stats.
But again, it was because he played for so long. Because man, there were times he was terrible.
Yeah.
Not just average.
There were
terrible
spots of brilliance like the 98 Jets. Don't say the 2004 Cowboys. But yeah, like his Jet career was really good. But when he got drafted by the Buccaneers, and I wouldn't say he was terrible, but the Buccaneers were terrible. So just like with Steve Young.
He's pretty terrible too, because he was terrible when he went to the Browns for most part. Even though, again, he would have these pockets.
Yeah, I mean, like 94 Browns, they were really good. They were more run-oriented, defensive-oriented. That it was basically Bernie Kosar's team up until about midway in 93. They traded him to the Cowboys.
Thank you, Bill Belichick.
Yeah, thank you. You basically gave the Cowboys another Super Bowl because Aikman could not stay healthy in 93. And Kosar was very much needed in 93, and especially in the NFC title game when San Francisco came into town. Yeah, he was very key in that victory in the NFC title game. So, but yeah, Kosar, Cowboys the rest of 93. I don't remember if he stayed in 94, but I know he went to the Dolphins.
No, Rodney Pete was the backup.
Oh, yeah. Rodney Pete was the backup in 94. So Kosar left.
I always felt bad for Pete not getting a ring.
Yeah, he was on the 94 team. He was on some really good Detroit Lion teams in 91 and 93.
A solid Eagle team in 95.
95, Ray Rhodes, first year. They started off slow.
Did Ray Rhodes die?
I think Ray Rhodes is still alive.
I thought he died.
He coached the Packers for 1 or 2 years too.
Yeah, that was random.
Yeah.
Well, I say random. It was part of the Mike Holmgren tree.
So right now, Bills have the ball. Minute 45 left in the second.
Yeah, he's still alive.
They're gonna try to get some points before the half. 3rd and 1, quarterback sneak, first down toward midfield at about the 47.5-yard line.
He's from Mahia, Texas.
Oh, cool. Another Texan. I like
Wow.
it. Bills in control right now. 1st and 10, minute 15 left in the first half. Ball close to midfield. Allen dropped back to pass. Too far. Incomplete. Time stops.
Wow.
9 seconds. Matt Collins thinks there's a pass interference. The defender just walking back like it's not. Good acting. Good job, buddy. There's a penalty. Pass interference. Defense. The referees agree with Matt Collins. Pass interference on the Jets. The Jets. Jets. First down, Bills. Hey, so far, Bills took the Jets' punches. It's like a heavyweight bout. It's for the AFC East supremacy right now.
And that's what we talked about. Just you knew the Jets were going to come out emotional. Been a weird week. Blah blah blah. And again, honestly, the Jets have not played. Wow.
Positive yardage.
The Jets have not played bad tonight. I mean, this is a competitive game, and they've had a couple pass interferences go against them, and then they've been good calls. But I mean, if you're a Jets fan, you got to feel like you got to hold them to a field goal here. You don't want to give up a touchdown and be down by 10.
Yeah,
because the Jets just aren't built to come back from 10. And again, that goes back to they've got to get.
But like with a quarterback with an Aaron Rodgers caliber, you would think they were a team that could come back from being down by double digits. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't think they are built that way.
I just don't understand why they didn't.
Good catch, buddy.
I just don't understand why if you got somebody like Aaron Rodgers and you got Garrett Wilson, you got Breece Hall, why do you just give up on the other wide receiver and not? And again, I get to Mike Williams. He looks shiny, and again, he'll have a couple of big games. Like he already had one earlier this year, but God, I just don't get that. Like, if you're gonna go all in on Aaron Rodgers, go all in. Like, get a superstar trio at wide receiver.
Yeah.
Get Devontae Adams. Get Amari Cooper. Really stack up. Don't make
pass interference.
Don't make Aaron Rodgers.
Are they going to call it?
I think it's going to be a hold.
He was interrupted.
I think they're going to call it as a hold, which makes it.
Hey, I'm up by 1.5 points. As long as Kincaid doesn't do anything the rest of the game.
And with the Bills, he could get this touchdown right here.
I know. I already know I'm going to lose that. The fact that I'm still leading going in almost at the end of the first half is mind-boggling.
Oh, there was 12 guys on the field. That's what it was. Okay.
I think there's 2 penalties then.
So this is one of those. Hang on. 12 men on the field. Yeah, there's 2. And then pass interference.
So I was right. Yeah.
The 12 men on the field. Like, if the dude's where that guy was, I don't think it should be called. That's just semantics at that point. Like, really, the guy's getting off the field. They made the effort.
You snapped the ball.
Yeah, I mean, just
that's just good. No, you snapped the ball. Enough. Forget that.
I mean, really?
That is what I saw. Because the ball was in the air.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
and the defender wasn't looking at the quarterback or at the ball. By letter of the law, that is pass interference.
Well, yeah, but that's the problem is, again, with pass interference is halftime it's not even called when it's blatant. I mean, that's a good call technically. You'd like to see them let them play.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
40 seconds left. Oh, 3 times. I'm sorry. I was looking at the Jets, like no timeouts, but the way they do it.
Jets.
You just love saying that.
I like Fireman Fred does it. See, I remember his name when I say Fireman Fred. Don was asking you earlier. I was like, is it Fireman Fred?
I don't know why I thought he had died.
You're very morbid
I'm
tonight.
always just trying to kill everybody off, man.
47-9 is not the worst score. Okay, it is a scoregami.
Oh no, it's got nothing to do with that. I'm just always trying to kill everybody off. I just did it with Ray Rhodes.
You know what? Jets are trailing, but look at that beard.
Not that good of a beard, dude.
I mean, it's a gray beard. I wish you had a beard.
Look at
like
Jay-Z on the broadcast. Oh, that's Troy. Troy even gets weirder looking every year.
He should be in hiding right now because
I know the women think he looks great.
Yeah, but Papa C.
Yeah.
Did he do it? Did he not? You know.
I like that whole joke of Jay-Z would use his Troy Aikman as his, I was on a broadcast. See, look.
Yeah, legally changing my name from Jay-Z or Sean Carter to Troy Aikman.
So where are you on is Troy Aikman overrated, underrated? How do you?
I mean, at one point he was the quarterback that had the most wins in a decade. Man, that's a tough one. There's some bias. I'm going to go ahead and say overrated.
I think he's underrated.
He was very accurate.
I'm going to say this.
But if
when talking about, oh boy, when talking about the Cowboys of the 90s, whether it's Emmitt Smith or Aikman, it's weird. You never hear Irvin get thrown into this.
Hell no.
But they start talking about, well, the line or the talent. Mm-hmm. Nobody says, well, Jerry Rice had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks throwing for him. Or nobody says that Joe Montana and Steve Young had a Hall of Fame wide receiver with multiple all-pro offensive linemen and multiple. John Taylor at one point was almost a 1B wide receiver. Yeah. So, I get part of it's just the Dallas hate. But this whole idea like Emmitt's not good because others around him were good. Isn't that what teams are supposed to be? I mean, if we're going to do that, then nobody on Pittsburgh in the 70s should make the Hall of Fame because they all were good because they were all good. It's a weird argument against Emmitt and Troy that people use. And I get Troy's stats. That's a valid thing. But I go back to listen to what the people that played in his era say about a player.
I feel that in order, it's Emmitt, Irvin, Aikman. For the simple fact that you've seen what happens when they're not in the lineup. 96, Irvin was out for the first 5 games. They go 2-3. They end up 10-6. They get the 3 seed. They probably should have had the 2 seed if Irvin played the whole season. But we don't know.
Oh, no, it was Knox.
Really?
I think it was Knox.
I thought that was.
Isn't he 88 and Kincaid 86?
Oh, I can't remember, man.
Yeah, I think it's Knox.
That looks like 4 letters. That's the only reason I can tell.
Yeah, that's Knox, 88.
Oh, wait. No, there was another guy that came through.
No, it was Knox, that's 88. See?
Oh, okay. So Dawson Knox gets the touchdown. He's going to make it 20-10 Bills, pending the extra point from what I thought was a reliable kicker, Tyler Bass. He got it.
Just got it inside. Classic. He overcorrected.
Yeah. So Bills are up 20-10, 21 seconds left in half. I'm pretty sure this is going to stay the same score. We're having a good conversation. I'm trying to remember what we were talking about.
Aikman.
Yeah. So I judged them based off of how the team played when they weren't in the lineup. When Irvin was not there in 96, based off of senseless and nonsensical charges brought out there by,
getting caught with dildos and cocaine.
Anyway, 2-3. They ended up being a 3 seed when they should have been a 2 or 1. But you saw how bad they were. They were not the same team. Going back a few years before that, 93 season, they started out 0-2 without Emmitt Smith. They looked far worse.
Yeah.
They had no identity. Man, Jimmy Johnson even said he went into this season planning on having Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, he kept assuming that they would get signed. He would assuming they get signed. Okay, let me ask you this on this. Let's spin that off. 1993.
Okay.
Do the Cowboys flirt with being unbeaten if Emmitt Smith plays the whole season?
They never lost a game where Emmitt Smith started and finished the season or finished the game. He was the MVP that season. That was clearly from
1,700 yards.
Stat was
amazing.
I think per game, this was his best season.
Yeah, because he missed 4 games and still hit 1,700 yards.
Led the league in rushing.
And then also, first game back against the Cardinals, he only had like 70 yards rushing.
Yeah.
It took him a couple games. I think it was that Green Bay game is when he really kind of started kicking in, wow, the rating of importance, that's a good one. I will flip it. I do think it was Emmett, Aikman, and Irvin. But we're talking the difference being that much. Just simply because, the problem with the whole how did they play when they weren't in, that's also dependent on how good your backups were. And you saw when Dallas had a terrible backup quarterback in Babe Laufenberg, they were absolute terrible when Aikman didn't play.
Yeah.
That made Dallas always try to have a really good backup system because that's the one.
Yeah, Steve Berline,
Rodney Peete, Bernie Kosar,
Jason Garrett, Bernie Kosar, Wade Wilson.
And by the way, I want to go back to that. That's a good one. I love when we're doing this because we're just kind of randomly. So, we all remember the 94 Thanksgiving game.
Jason Garrett,
where it's just in our mind, it's just Jason Garrett's throwing jump balls. But he really wasn't. He was throwing some damn good, like dropping it over a secondary guy right into Michael Irvin's arm passes.
It just looked like softballs at the time.
Yeah.
But
I genuinely believe
like he threw it to Alvin Harper as he was running.
Yes.
Like it wasn't like Alvin Harper was like standing there doing a jump ball. It
was hitting him in stride.
Yeah, it just again, you have to think about it. It is 94.
He had a pretty deep ball, though. Garrett had a really pretty deep, like a very Jeff Blake-esque. He had that arc to it.
Yeah.
I love, dude, there is nothing better than that beautiful arc.
He didn't sit in the pocket forever and then made the throw.
Yeah.
He took 3 steps and then threw it. That's why his receivers were still running as they made the catch. But yeah. So kudos on the Cowboys on making sure they always had good backup quarterbacks. Shame on them for not having depth at running back and receiver.
Well, I think also it's just really hard. Even before the salary cap, it's unless you were going to draft it. By the way, Sherwin Williams was.
Oh, this got me double points in fantasy football. They're replaying the 2015 Rodgers Hail Mary catches.
They're going to show the
2016 playoff game.
Okay,
against
I thought
the Giants.
they were going to show the third and
Please
forever.
don't do that.
Okay.
Thank you. Because that was the very next game after that Giant game.
Yep.
All right, 8 seconds left. Ball at the 48 of the Jets. Rodgers back to pass. They're trying to get in field goal range. Oh, never mind. They're just trying to go for a touchdown. Rodgers heave-hos it.
He's got a man. It's caught. It's caught. Oh, no, it came out. Wait, one said touchdown. One says incomplete. Oh, my God.
It's a touchdown.
We have the controversy again.
Controversy.
It's controversy on the field.
Replay.
Holy crap. Is Aaron Rodgers the greatest non-vaccinated Hail Mary thrower of all time? Let's see. Does he have possession? It's good. It's good. That's good. That's a touchdown.
That's a touchdown.
That is a friggin' touchdown.
Oh, my gosh. Death blow for the Bills.
Dude,
that is not how you want to go into halftime,
Give
Buffalo.
credit for ESPN for showing the highlight package right before he does it.
Still has possession, yeah.
Alan Lazard, as I just buried him as a career. What a catch.
Make Sean McDermott get his own flight back to Orchard Park.
You know what? That play doesn't happen if that guy ain't wearing one of those Guardian skull caps. Pussy.
Wow. Yeah, well, you can't say that.
Puss.
Wait, are our viewers going up or down?
Wait. Don't. Never mind. We're gonna take a quick break here. No, I gotta go take a break. I gotta go tinkle. We'll be right back for the second half.
That means it's bug season. Heck, who am I kidding? It's always bug season in Texas. And that means it's bug season. Heck, who am I kidding? It's always bug season in Texas. And that's why you need Grandeur Pest Solutions in your corner. They're locally owned and operated. They're trained, they're trustworthy, and they have a proven record as they have been in business for almost 10 years. They provide pest control against ants, bed bugs, bees, roaches, fleas, wasps, mosquitoes, rodents, spiders. If it crawls and you don't like it, they're probably going to take care of it for you. Now, they serve all of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and they're locally owned. These two guys have been running this business since 2013, and every year they get bigger and bigger. But you know what they still do? They still have great customer service. In fact, if you get a hold of them, they're usually going to have your quote and your job ready to go within 48 hours. That's pretty good. Now, you can call them for a free estimate at 469-809-1769. You can find them online at Grandeur4, that's the number 4, shore.com. You can also find them on Facebook. Just type in Grandeur Pet Solutions, and we are so happy that they're title sponsor for OutDrank The Coverage in 2023.
And we're back. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for staying with us. Shocker, man, 20-17. I thought it'd still be 20-10 at the half. We had a halftime Hail Mary touchdown catch by Allen Lazard from Aaron Rodgers, who once again does his fantastic job of heave-hoeing it into the end zone. It's just, he has a history of doing it now at almost 41 years old. And that talent still hasn't left him. So right now it's 20-17 Bills. If I were a Bills fan, if I was a Bills player, I would feel a little bit deflated. It kind of sucks for them. I mean, entertaining for Terry and I because
it's their doing. You got to stop that.
Like watching it live right now, like in real time, no slow motion. It looks like an incomplete pass, but we watched the replay. That was a completed pass.
All right, so let's take a look at the standings of the NFL. It's halftime here, so we'll take a minute away from the game. Again, we appreciate everybody joining us.
Where do you want to start? You want to start with the AFC?
Yeah, let's start with the AFC. We'll start with the AFC. What East? Because as bad as the Jets have been, and as great as the Bills are, if the Jets were to pull this game off, they'd be tied at 3-3, and also, as bad as it's been for the Dolphins, with Tua about to come back, the Dolphins are only 2-3. It's not like they're out of it, and so
So this basically is so whoever wins this game,
it's like a 2-game swing almost.
Whoever wins this game is going to lead the AFC East essentially. So if the Jets win, they'll be 3-3. And Buffalo will be 3-3, but because of the tiebreaker, the Jets will be leading the AFC East. If the Bills win, it's almost like an insurmountable lead at that point.
Well, they still play each other again.
They still do, but it's kind of, especially like with being down 2 games early in the season, it's kind of hard to crawl out of that.
I keep looking at the Dolphins though, and if Tua comes back and he's healthy, they're instantly. Yeah. And we are learning that at least again. Why, if you're Miami,
all right,
when you have a quarterback who has been injury prone, why do you not have better backup options when he goes down? That kind of stuff I just don't understand.
Not to bash my own team, but that's something the Cowboys would do.
But the Cowboys have been really good about not doing that.
Well, think about the running back situation.
Well, no, look. We might not like the choices, but that Dallas legitimately felt going in, this is what we're rolling with. I'm talking about looking at going, okay, Tua is great, but Tua is injury prone. So let's at least get somebody that's halfway capable with the weapons that we have.
100% agree.
And Dallas has made that mistake before. Now, to be fair, they thought Brad Johnson still had it in him, but Brad Johnson back in 2008, you know, if Romo missed 3 games and they went 1-2, if they go 2-1, they make the playoffs.
Yep.
Matt Castle, when they traded for Matt Castle, that seemed like a valid thing to do. Matt Castle had, you know, famously led the Patriots to an 11-5 record, and they didn't make the playoffs, but it wasn't because of him. He played great. He'd played great in spot duty, and yet when he got to Dallas, all of a sudden he had a new arm. So those I understand, but you can't tell me they looked at Skylar Thompson and thought, hey, yeah, this is the guy we can roll with if Tua gets hurt.
They kept saying that he has been in the system for a while, and they like his knowledge of the system, and they were very happy, but you and I both know that Skylar Thompson ain't going to win a game.
No.
Patriots, I think they're doing everything right. They're just a couple years away. I like them getting Jalen Polk. I like them getting Drake May.
I don't know if they're a couple years away. They might be, but we're learning that their roster is really, really bad. Like,
improve the offensive line, and they'll be competitive. Get 2 solid offensive linemen.
I see what you're saying. I agree with that.
Something to protect Drake May. I like his first game against Houston. They lost 41-21, but you saw glimpses of why they picked him number 3 overall. They might have done better with getting someone like Jaden Daniels, but you know, he was picked a 1 pick higher. But they have a defense that's decent enough. They have some semblance of talent on offense. I think they need a dynamic receiver or 2. They need a couple of offensive linemen, and I think that's a team that can, if they get those 2 things alone, that's an 8-win team. And they just keep building off of that.
All right, let's go to the AFC West. Of course, the Chiefs are 5-0. The Chargers are 3-2. The Broncos are 3-3, and the Raiders are 2-4. And you know, the Raiders, they look like a quarterback away from being an okay team.
Only a quarterback. I think if they just have a good quarterback, that team could be 4-2 instead of 2-4.
So again, why do they go into the season with Garden, Minshew, and Aiden O'Connell as your 2 choices? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't. And if you're gonna do that, why get rid of Josh Jacobs?
Well, I get that.
Not only
he's not they don't think he's part of what's going to be them as a playoff team. So why are you paying him?
Because if you're not going to have a quarterback, at least have a running back. And they didn't have either. And don't tell me Alexander Madison and Zamir White are running backs.
Oh no, I agree with you on that.
They're very solid.
So
I would like to have either or on my team, but they're not your RB1.
Yeah. Boy, the Patriots Reds looks great.
Beautiful. That was the one beautiful thing about the Patriots this past weekend. I feel so bad for any team that has to host the Steelers. Their fans are turning out more and more each game. It is nice to see from for you and me being a football purist, just seeing passionate fans. But yeah. Yes, AFC West, AFC South, 2 teams. Tennessee's 1-4, Jacksonville's 1-5. I'm gonna go to the game this Sunday in London. Jacksonville probably will beat the Patriots. If not, Doug Peterson is probably gonna have to get a flight back by himself.
I don't think Con will fire him in season. I think they'll let him go through the season.
I think they might. I think he might have his son have him in an AEW matchup.
Because I mean, at 1-4 or 1-6, if they lose, what's the point of firing him? You're not. Again, I don't like that they fired Saleh, but I understand the idea of we think we can salvage this, and we think that he's the reason. So that's why you change.
Hey, if they win a couple games, good for them. Then they might have been right, but I don't think that was the right decision. But I'm okay with being proven wrong. In the Colts, once again, relying on a backup quarterback to salvage a season that was lost because their starting quarterback got hurt.
Well, now Richardson will be back, though. I mean,
I think he's supposed to be back next week.
Well, and from all accounts, he could have played this week if one of those, if they felt like it, it was like an elimination game, a playoff game. I think the Colts are perfectly fine right now. They're kind of what I thought they would be. They're going to be weeks that they look really good, and there's going to be weeks that they look really bad.
Good road win at Tennessee. It wasn't pretty, but The most important part is they got the W.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those that I don't know if they win that game last year. And so that's a real good win for them. And then we go over to the AFC North, which a lot like the NFC North, I think is the best division in the AFC. I know maybe record-wise it doesn't match, but I still think the Bengals are way better than their 2-4. They'll be 3-4 after this week. The Steelers are probably not as good as their 4-2, but they're 4-2, so give them credit. And then the Ravens are rounding in the form after starting off the season slow. Now, the one thing though that I think people, the Ravens defense isn't really that good. Like, I mean, Washington moved the ball up and down at will. Dallas in the second half moved the ball up and down on them at will.
Yeah.
The Bills moved the ball on them. I mean, on the year they've given up 38, 23, 10. I guess they did. I don't know. I thought the Bills scored more than that. 25 and then 26 and 27. So this isn't the normal Ravens defense.
Well, you know, they lost their defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald. He became the Seahawks head coach. And also, very importantly, and people don't talk about this, Patrick Queen, he left Baltimore to go to Pittsburgh.
And he's been very quiet in Pittsburgh.
He's still been good enough. I mean, honestly, this has been TJ Watt's probably best season, and that's saying a lot. You just see him punching the ball out of running backs' arms like it's nothing.
Is TJ Watt better than JJ Watt?
Man, that is a good discussion point because, you know, JJ Watt will be in the Hall of Fame first ballot.
And TJ Watt's headed there too. I still contend, and this isn't a knock on TJ Watt, that if a lot of it is what scheme he's in.
Yeah.
While JJ could play in any scheme.
Yeah.
And for people who get all pissy, I'm sorry, but if you put TJ Watt in a standard 4-3, where do you play him? Because if you play him at defensive end, he's extremely undersized.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And if you play him at a 4-3, I mean, yeah, you could still make him a rush linebacker, but that goes against a lot of the 4-3 principles.
Slow? Yeah, I think he'd be too slow to be the linebacker.
Yeah. You see and that's why I'm not saying Taco was the great pick, but I still contend this idea of picking Taco over TJ. It's not that simple. You were picking scheme over scheme. Now, in saying that, I still do believe that Dallas should be flipping to a 3-4 with Micah Parsons.
So with Pittsburgh, with Queen, come back to him. He's probably the biggest part that was missing from this Baltimore defense, because when they got Roquan Smith from the Chicago Bears, they picked him because they needed someone that was in the linebacker position to be able to stuff the run, which he was very good at, because they had Patrick Queen, who was very good against the pass, but terrible against the run. So they were two guys that complemented each other, and Roquan Smith was kind of the final piece for Mike McDonald to really solidify that defense as among the best in the NFL. And they went on a tear last year, and they look so good. But yeah, now Patrick Queen's with the Steelers. He's helping their passing scheme with Minkah Fitzpatrick, with TJ Watt rushing the passer. So, I mean, the Steelers look pretty good there. Ravens are not going to be the same defensive team that we've known and loved, but it's, again, like we said earlier in this show, pick your poison. Are you going to stop Lamar Jackson, or are you going to stop Derrick Henry? When this team's on a roll, you can't stop both. So one of them is going to kill you.
Yeah, but they're still...
But they got to get over the hump.
We still got to see Lamar Jackson have to throw for 300 to win a playoff game.
Yeah. Okay, so we covered the AFC. Second half has started.
Bills get the ball.
Yeah, Bills get the ball. Jets have momentum.
Blocking the back. That's like it's going to be called?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, big stop. The 21-yard line. Man. NFC West.
Been kind of boring.
49ers and Seahawks battled for first place in the division.
Rams are just so beat up. And that was the whole, I was real big on the Rams in the beginning of the year. But if you remember, I said they have to stay healthy. And unfortunately, they've got a group of really good football players who can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
Their wide receivers can't stay healthy.
Right.
Their running backs can't stay healthy.
Right.
Matt Stafford is starting to, again, it's hard to tell because none of his guys are healthy. And so unfortunately, now they're one of those teams that, oh, wow. Now this is how you get past a Hail Mary at the end of the half. You just immediately attack the field and now you're right in scoring
I almost
position.
thought Josh Allen threw that in front of the line of scrimmage or past the line of scrimmage. I guess that's the proper phrase. He was getting close, but yeah,
he is close.
Yeah, Curtis Samuel makes a big catch to midfield. They're at the 39-yard line of the New York Jets, 1st and 10. We're in the third quarter.
Nobody's throwing the challenge, so he must have been good.
Yeah.
All you have to have is at least one body part. It could be your back toe.
And it was close on the live feed, but I think he was fine.
But yeah, again, the Rams have struggled. The Seahawks, at times Thursday night against San Francisco, they looked good, but man, also at times they looked so overmatched. But that's just the Seahawks this year. They're going to look like that from time to time. But if you're, they're looking at it right now. Oh yeah, he just had his body over there. But again, the Seahawks are a team you don't want to face in the playoffs.
Especially with that offensive talent, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett,
Jackson Walker at times looks like the greatest running back in the last 10 years.
That Monday night game against the Detroit Lions where he was just running all over the place. 3-3, San Francisco leading the NFC West.
All right, let's go to the NFC South, where I think has become the most enjoyable, just pure style versus style in crazy games.
Yep.
The Falcons and the Bucks are tied at 4-2. The Saints are 2-4. The Saints look like world beaters after 2 games, and then they've just. I thought Spencer Rattler looked pretty solid yesterday for the most part.
Yeah, he had a good first game. Former OU quarterback, former South Carolina quarterback, his rookie year. Derek Carr's hurt. I think he's oblique about a few weeks.
Or he's just bored.
So Spencer Rattler is going to be the starting quarterback for the next 4 weeks. I think he did pretty well. He led the Saints to a 27-24 lead at the half. And then the Buccaneers scored 27 points in a row to close out the game, 51-26.
But it wasn't like they were offensively dominating. They just
what?
I
mean, the Saints almost had 600 yards. The Buccaneers had almost 600 yards.
That's what I'm about to say. But like when you watch the game, it's not like they're just zooming down the field. It's a lot of 3rd and 12s and, and 2nd and 14s. And they just the thing is we've seen that with the Dallas Cowboys for 15 years. You're going to bail yourself out of those until you can't. Yeah. And that's what's always going to be the downfall for the Bucs. I love what Baker Mayfield's doing.
I was about to ask you, what were your thoughts on him this season?
I think I've always liked Baker Mayfield at the NFL level. He's that type of guy that you hate him if he's against you, you love him. But the problem is the 15 for 20 for 250-yard Baker Mayfield easily becomes the 9 for 35 and 3 interceptions, just like yesterday. Yeah, he threw for 4 touchdowns, but he also threw for 3 interceptions. And a couple of them are just terrible interceptions. And so it's that take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life.
Yes, the facts. All right, it's just funny that the top 2 MVP candidates right now are Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield.
Okay, neither one of them are top MVP candidates.
Who should be above
Maybe, Derrick Henry right now. Derrick Henry to me is showing by far. We could talk about will he get it? No, probably not because of running back. But nobody is filling out Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield at the end of the year.
I think that. Well, I mean through week 6.
I wouldn't even. I mean,
think anybody through week 6.
Anybody what?
Who's above Sam Darnold and Baker through week 6?
Josh Allen?
No.
Lamar Jackson?
No.
Why would Lamar Jackson not be above him? I
mean, week to week.
They're both great stories. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, again, give me a second as I'm pulling up Baker Mayfield's stats right now. On the year, Baker Mayfield has thrown for 15 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Perfectly fine numbers, but none of that is, that's your your MVP. I mean, I just don't see it. I wouldn't hate it, and I'd love it if it was Sam Darnold. I told you again, beginning of the year, Sam Darnold always felt like the one that could be reclamated as a quarterback if he could just get away from crappy teams. And we're seeing that. But even then, there's still moments you see Sam Darnold being Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago when Minnesota jumped out and then almost lost the game, he ended up throwing that Green Bay game. They jumped out really big, and then I mean, he had a couple fumbles and interception. Now, I could see Sam Darnold being an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
I just don't think Baker Mayfield is right or wrong. But that's a good question, though. Who would be the MVP? It's hard to do that at this point in the season. But I still think Lamar Jackson.
I feel like Jaden Daniels might get some love too. Now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, he'll get the whole. He'll get Rookie of the Year, so he doesn't. But yeah, if they continue where they're doing, he continues to put up the numbers he's doing, because he's not doing it with it's not like they're loaded offensively. Terry McLaurin, yeah, but what past that? Austin Eckler, but hell, he's injured half the time.
Yeah.
And then Brian Robinson Jr. is injured the other half of the time.
Yeah.
Zach Ertz has kind of vitalized his career.
Yep.
Washington's a fun team to watch, man. I mean, like, they legitimately are. Put your fandom aside as Cowboy fans and just watch them, and they're a fun team.
Hey, the best decision Dan Quinn made as head coach for the Washington Commanders was hire Cliff Kingsbury. For all anyone ever says about Kingsbury, he has a great offensive mind, and I really think offensive coordinator is his perfect position in football. But I get it. You always want to be a head coach. I understand that, but he's had most success as an offensive coordinator.
Well, I mean, it wasn't his fault the Cardinals were stupid and hired him as a head coach. You take the job.
Do you take the good?
You take the bad. You take them both. There you have the facts of coaching. It wasn't his fault that they should have brought him in as the OC with Kyler Murray.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? At least he's not the Panthers head coach.
Said everybody ever. Look at that catch. Oh, he dropped it.
Dropped it. You're a bum. NFC North, best division of football. The 4th place Chicago Bears are 4-2.
It's got the best record. I don't think it's the best division in football, like pure just playing.
Record wise, yes.
Yes, record wise, yes.
Talent wise, you would disagree.
Let's come back at the end of the year and see where these 4 teams are. We talked about
again, this is through 6 games.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I'm extrapolating to the. I still think the AFC North is the best pure football.
Do you think? All right, going back to the AFC North, do you think the Browns are going to make a run toward the second half of the season?
No,
Okay.
no. I think the Browns are toast. I think if you watch them, malaise is starting to creep through the whole roster.
Do you think Kevin Stefanski and Deshaun Watson are Browns in 2025?
I don't think Well,
Stefanski has been twice coach of the year.
I don't think
led the Browns, a team that's been snake bitten. The team that doesn't make the playoffs. He led them to the playoffs twice, and he's had some semi-average teams in between. So
he missed it. So the Jets, that Hail Mary. Wow, could that be what turns everything around?
McDermott's going to have to get his own flight back to Buffalo now.
Okay, so you love saying that. If Stefanski is the one that's riding with Deshaun Watson, then yes, he will be fired.
Yeah.
I don't feel that he's the one riding with Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
I feel like that's a high up thing, and I get it. You've paid him a ton of money, worst contract in the history. They make the Russell Wilson contract look great. And so I don't think that Stefanski gets thrown under the bus unless he loses the whole team.
Yeah.
But it feels like the whole team kind of understands the situation, like it's not him. But again, there's a lot there's a couple times watching that defense against the Eagles, and they played the Eagles pretty good. And you know what? To be fair, Watson was not terrible in that game. And maybe that's part of the problem is he's not been terrible.
Yeah.
He's just not been good. He's just that in between of like it's like the meme where the dude's poking and say, "Come on, do something."
Yeah.
It's like, come on, dude, be Deshaun Watson. But I think Stefanski gets another year no matter what, unless he loses the team. Deshaun, oh man, I don't know. Like that contract is so bad.
Hey, do you have an open bottle of Mitchell's Goodnight Lemon?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, sir. This the one that's open, or
Yeah, it's open.
Okay.
Yeah, their lids are really weird. That's the one knock on them. I don't like the way their lids are, and that damn metallic stuff will cut your ass if you don't pay attention. But no, I just the Deshaun Watson thing is such an interesting quandary because Cowboy fans will scream about Dak's contract because he's the highest paid, but for all the things you want to complain about Dak, and this season has not been great, but Dak is not the problem.
Correct.
With Cleveland, Deshaun Watson is 1,000% the problem.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's 2 wins at least they would have had it was a different quarterback.
Shit, I think if with Jameis Winston there week 1, they might have beat Dallas.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not pretend that Dallas won that game and they kind of won it going away, but for a lot of that game, Cleveland's defense was playing like Cleveland's defense, and Dallas was struggling.
I think the only game they would have actually lost was the Commander game. I think they would have beat the Raiders. I think they would have beat the Cowboys. I think they would have beat the Eagles.
See, I think that I don't think they lose to the Commanders if they're beating the Cowboys. If they're 3-1 going,
oh, you think okay?
You see what I mean? The added, the whole.
I'm just trying to.
You're just talking about pure how they're playing. No,
yeah,
you're right on that part.
Yeah.
But I just don't think if they go into that game beating
That's
Dallas,
fair, yeah.
and being good.
I'll say they would have won 2 of those 3. I really think there's at least 2 wins in there.
Yeah, that's fair. So there's such a conundrum because even without Nick Chubb, because Jerome Ford has been perfectly fine as backup, but he's banged up now. But they have a good roster. They have a playoff. You could say that they have almost a Super Bowl roster.
Yeah,
except for quarterback.
Yep.
And the fact that they won't just for this season be like, hey, we got to sit him down. We got to he needs to sit down and watch the game. Let Jameis Winston, let's see what he does, because you're not only losing a season, but you're going to lose guys who are going to be up for contracts who will be like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be. Why would I want to be here when we have a terrible quarterback and we just keep running him out week after week after week after week? 4th career Hail Mary, most since 2008.
I still remember former Packers tight end Richard Rodgers. I'm not sure if he's still in the NFL, but in 2015, Packers at Detroit, they were trailing. Rodgers throws a Hail Mary. It was a 66-yard touchdown pass. I think the ball traveled 66 yards in the air. It was a cannon. It was a deep
they
throw.
showed that earlier.
Yeah. I was like, Rodgers.
Dude, Tyron Smith looks bad.
Yeah. I can't believe he regressed that.
Wow, they got bailed out.
Yeah.
What is the call?
Roughing the passer.
No, but what?
I don't see it. Good tackle. Did he put his weight on him?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Are you not listening to the game?
No.
So they've got
because that is a penalty where if the tackler puts all of his weight on the quarterback as he tackling him for the sack, that's a roughing the passer call, which
Troy Aikman's not happy.
Oh, of course he's not, because he had to deal with that throughout the whole 90s. Why do you think he only had a 12-year career, and really it was more like 9?
So Tyron Smith is looking bad, and let's, we want to knock Jerry Jones for running back, blah, blah, blah. But one thing Dallas does well is they kind of know when to get rid of a guy.
Yeah.
And Tyron Smith is, I'd rather have Tyler Guyton struggling, because at least that's youth. Tyron Smith struggling, that's just too old. And I'm sorry, I agree with Aikman. This is not a body weight.
Yeah, I think I can't remember the exact terminology of the rule. You have to be a lawyer to memorize all these rules. But if you forcefully sack the quarterback and put all of your weight on them in a manner where it's overly excessive.
Yeah.
I know I sound ridiculous when I say this, but this is kind of like what the rule is. Then it's a 15-yard penalty for roughing the passer.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's a bad rule.
It's terrible because it's so hard to enforce. Like I could see what the refs are looking at. It's still bad, but they're just trying to do their job. Just like what Bill Belichick always told us when we go to bed. Do your job.
Wait, what?
Anyway, 3rd and 3.
Why doesn't Bill Belichick come to see me when I go to bed?
Jets are trailing 20-17.
But the worm is turned after that.
8 minutes left in the third quarter. 10 seconds left in the play clock. Aaron Rodgers trying to get a first down. Aaron.
So, if, and this is still a big if.
Oh, nice first down.
Oh, he's got more than
and
first
touchdown.
down. Okay, so I want to go ahead and say this: if the Bills lose this game and go to 3-3,
Sean McDermott's going to get a flight.
Isn't their decision to not restock their wide receiver room just as bad as the Cowboys and not doing it with a running back?
Yeah.
I mean, theirs is even more egregious because you've got Josh Allen.
Yeah. You already have a team that's considered capable of going to the Super Bowl, and you don't improve.
Now, there's a good Tyron Smith right there.
That was a good hold by Alan Lazard.
Yeah, Lazard got away with that.
Hey, good job, Lazard.
I will say you can see the difference in the play calling.
Yeah, it is. It is much different.
For some reason, Nathaniel Hackett's just one of those that does not like to run the ball. Oh, that ball was almost intercepted.
Yeah. The ball almost went intercept.
I think he was trying to just throw it away, and he kind of I think he hit the butt of the bill, and it kind of popped straight up. Watch. I think he's just trying to kind of throw it at the feet right here. Oh no, he was trying to thread a needle.
Just a good defensive play.
See, he'd have made that interception without that stupid Guardian cap. I'd rather just get a concussion.
Yeah, they'll probably score on the next play. Aaron, not too happy right there. Like you can just feel that they're going to score on this play.
Really?
I mean, the Jets' offensive line, they got some push there on the right side.
Boy, Fred Smoot got big.
That's
his son, isn't it?
Not Fred Smoot.
But isn't that his son?
No. Really?
I thought it was. I legitimately thought it was.
Man, I'm about to look this up.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm not that old.
I'm pretty sure Smoot it might not be this guy, but Smoot has a son that's like a defensive lineman.
Sir, I'm not that old. Fred Smoot's born April of 79.
Mario Edwards has a kid.
Come on, man. I already know this.
He played at
number one overall ESPN's number one ranked player, basically went to Florida State.
Who?
Mario Edwards Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Please don't have a kid. Okay, he doesn't have a kid.
Who, Smoot? I'm almost certain that that there was talk about him because it was one of those. It's funny because he was a cornerback and then his son's a big old.
Well, that was Mario Edwards.
I know, but I'm saying the same thing with Fred Smoot. Legatron. So hey, good stop right here by the Bills.
DeJuan Smoot, current team, the Bills. Early life, personal.
Yep. Fred Smoot's son is Dwayne DJ Smoot, an American football player who plays defensive end for the Buffalo Bills.
What?
Born March 2nd, 1995.
How? Okay, never mind. I should not have said that.
I mean, it's
okay. We got it. We got it.
I always liked Fred Smoot. He was fun to watch. Even though
his parents are Daryl Smoot Sr. and Jamaica Smoot.
I'm just reading the thing. It says,
no, it's Daryl Smoot, not Fred Smoot. Apologies, everybody. I do like these all sports commercials.
The what?
These all sport, like the New Balance all sport commercials, like they used to have back in the day. But now I feel like I'm starting to not recognize some of these talents, these players, like Jason Tatum was in there. I bet I barely recognize Jason Tatum. He's the star forward for the Boston Celtics who just won the NBA championship against the Mavericks this past season. He's one of those superstars that you just don't.
He doesn't stand out.
He doesn't really stand out.
He's not loud. He's not.
Yeah.
So speaking of the Mavs, what do they do this year?
I mean, it sounded like all the guys they liked last season, they got better in the offseason. Both centers, Derek Lively. Who's the other center they got from the Washington? Not Bullets.
Dimwittle?
No, the center, the one that kind of was like one of the not Twin Towers, but like another tall center for what's his name? Anyway, they both got bigger, they both got stronger. Just having that, and then Klay Thompson as your third option, which is fantastic, even at his age.
I think people need to think of this isn't 2014 Klay Thompson.
Correct.
This is a guy who can still be good, but you can't expect 20 points a game out of him.
Yeah, you're expecting like
12 points a game.
Yeah, starter, but better than Peja was.
I was trying to. I wanted to say Peja, but Peja is one of those because he had the one moment against the Lakers. I think people think he had a bigger impact for the Mavericks that year, and he didn't. Like he didn't really at all.
You wanted like 12, 15 a game.
Yeah, and then the occasional 28 point, 5 for 6 at the 3-point line, and he can still do that.
Now he had a 3-year, $50 million contract roughly to come here,
which is in basketball, not that big of a contract.
It's not that big of a contract. He loved the tax benefits of coming to Texas as opposed to staying in California.
So, what were your thoughts about? Did you hear the news about in 2007 the Mavericks almost traded for Kobe Bryant?
No, I did not.
Yeah. So Mark Cuban says that in 2007. This is when Kobe was, I don't want to be a Laker anymore and all that. And that apparently the deal was basically in principle agreed to.
Man, and that was very clear because the Lakers got good almost immediately after that.
Mm-hmm. But it would be interesting to see if he'd have been, where does that?
Because they got
where does Dirk and him
Gasol.
take the Mavericks?
We got Gasol in 07, 08. And then the next year they won the NBA championship. Yeah. That is interesting.
So I think the Mavericks could actually be better than they were last year, but not might not even get out of the second round. Because once again, the West just always is stacked. The NBA West for the last 25 years just feels like it's always stacked. And it's going to be stacked again this year. But I think the Mavericks are going to be really, really good. I think the Mavericks are about a 4 seed.
Who comes out of the West?
Again, that could be if Denver gets remotivated. Dallas, I think, has a legitimate chance. Phoenix, people sleeping on Phoenix. Phoenix has quietly gotten good again. That all depends on Durant.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's such a big question mark.
I know it's funny to laugh at, but I still think the Lakers are a valid team that I could see LeBron.
As long as you have Bronny. And then that LeBron guy, and then that Davis guy.
The problem is Davis will miss 47 games.
And then, but they have Bronny, so that's like 50 wins right there.
That's your defensive player of the year.
He's been getting praised out the wazoo.
A little too much.
Yeah,
it's like at the end of
you almost set him up for failure.
It's like at the end of the game, it's like, oh, was that Kincaid? Oh, you're getting close, dude.
I lost because it's PPR. So
I didn't think I'd legal y'all peed on each other. Yeah, it's almost like LeBron's like, hey, dude, just say something good and I'll Venmo you.
Yeah, I already lost.
No, who do you see? Because that's a good question. Utah's in a rebuild mode. Minnesota feels like I know that they're spinning the Towns trade and they like Randall, but it feels like that takes them a step back a little bit. I don't know. The West is wide open. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, and that's the part I really like about it. It could be a carbon copy of this past season where the West is the wild, wild West, but the East is very predetermined.
Wow.
Well, let's see the replay. Let's see the replay. Let's see the replay, sir. Sir.
Anti-vax is hurting the Jets right now.
Like old brick. Think.
He should have pointed to his beard.
Yeah, he probably should. It is pretty epic.
Here we go.
Have you looked at his beard? It's really nice, Terry.
You have a weird thing about guys' beards. Look at 4, fell down.
And then he tackled him. Boom! He elbowed. He shoulder.
That's so cheap.
He put a shoulder to it.
Whoa!
Oh, what? Offset. What was unnecessary? Wait, whoa!
Let's go to the.
I'm gonna put this earbud.
Spencer Brown.
SBZ. All right. I like it. Showing some attitude. I like it. Good job, Brown.
That's a penalty? That's a penalty? Like, neither one of them should have been penalties. Man, these officials suck. So big 3rd down and 6, 4:38 left in the third quarter. We're tied 20-20.
Hey, Josh Allen runs it.
You're terrible on the pick. Oh,
he should have ran that ball. I mean, that was a terrible throw. So now they're just in give up mode. They're like, okay, let's go ahead and legitimize Robert Saleh's firing by
maybe that's what they're doing. They're subverting. They're going to give the Jets false hope.
Yeah, let them win now. We're going to end up winning the division anyway, so it's all right. Go ahead, get the W.
I will pat myself on the back when I said I thought the AFC East was going to underperform, and so far they have this year. Remember, I said that in the show because you had 3 teams making it from the.
I thought it would be a reverse because injuries would not be as prevalent this year, but apparently injuries are just as prevalent this year as they were last year. So.
Well, because it's Tua. It's Tua. I mean, for the Bills, it's not injuries. They're going to be inconsistent. I mean, this is where it is. And again, I keep thinking, man, Devontae Adams as a Bill would be really nice for the Bills.
It makes more sense for him to go there instead of the Jets.
I disagree. I think the Jets are valid too. Again, the Jets are. I mean, you can make the case the Jets are one wide receiver away from having one of the better rosters because we both think their defense is really good. Again, this was a team that last year kept itself almost in the playoff race because the roster in of itself was still really, really good.
Yeah,
they just don't have a lot of. They don't have a lot of athleticism at wide receiver, and that's what Devontae brings.
Where does Devontae Adams, wide receiver for the Raiders, end up going at the trade deadline?
I think it's going to be the Jets. I think it's the Jets are legitimately a wild card like Dallas. I could see Jerry trade day going, okay, y'all want a 3rd? Screw it. I'm going to show everybody I'm all in. I will contend, and I know Amari Cooper ended up having a great year for the Cowboys when they traded him.
Yeah.
But to be fair, he was traded before the deadline. He was traded early in the year. I think wide receiver is one of those that when you trade, that takes the longest to get adjusted.
Really?
Does the Cowboys make any trades?
Why? I would say no, because there's no reason to.
Wait, what do you mean there's no reason
I think one person is not going to fix a lot of their issues. I think in 2018, getting a receiver was their main issue. Like they needed some explosiveness from that position. Getting Amari Cooper was necessary.
Yeah, but I mean, if you were to get I don't even know if there's a running back that's on the trade block.
I mean, with today's NFL, you want to keep as many good running backs on your roster as possible. I mean, think about what happened to the Buccaneers against the Saints. For those that play fantasy football, I'm not sure how long Rashad White's going to be out, but Sean Tucker had an amazing game, complemented by Bucky Irving. So that was a nice 1-2
Yeah,
combo.
but I mean, teams that are trading a running back is going to be somebody that's on the outs. Like they're not.
But like, what
But I don't
really
know
good running back?
That's
is
my
on,
point. I don't know if
yeah.
there's even a good running
So-
back that's available, like on the trade block. I'm trying to run my head through.
Yeah, I really can't
Garrett
think.
Wilson breaking ankles. Jesus. I do like the fact that they wore the gray face mask, which was of the '69 Jets, and not
Whoa.
like the Curtis Martin Jets.
Curtis, my favorite Martin.
Man, that's a good question. I'm trying to go through all the lineups. Maybe Damian Pierce might be on the
Who
trade.
just had a big game.
They had a big run. He had one big run, and it helped pad it. But they're still pretty stacked at running back.
Yeah, I mean, I think some teams still regard him as an RB1. So running back.
That's what I'm saying.
A starting running back for those that are watching.
So that's what I'm saying. So he would be the perfect type that you could see on the block because, oh, man, dude, go.
Honestly, if the Falcons weren't doing good, I would think that someone would want Tyler Algier.
I think that they like what they're doing there, and I do too, where Robinson is your outside guy and wide receiver, and then Algier is your in between the tackles guy.
Which is how I thought they were going to run that offense last year with Arthur Smith, but I was completely wrong. I used too much logic, apparently.
I think if the Steelers were to tank, I think Najee Harris would be on the block. But I'm not real wild by him. He's okay. He's very slow.
He just came off a great game.
Yep.
But yeah, he is very slow.
And he had a solid game against Dallas too.
You can tell his style of play will age very quick. Like in 2 or 3 years, he's going to be a slow plotter.
It'll either age very quick, or because he doesn't need speed, he has a very consistent baseline where he's never really high, but he's also never, you know what I mean? Because speed isn't part of his game.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to go. Does Jerome Ford become expendable? I don't think so.
He did a lot of good work last year.
Unless they go to shit. Now, if the Browns continue on this path and they're still, maybe you're just trading for capital.
Zach Moss is a good option. Right now in Cincinnati, they like the guy they drafted last year, Chase Brown.
Yeah, but Chase Brown's really beat up. And I think again, kind of like what you said, not a lot of teams are going to give up a really good second right now. A second running back is just as invaluable as a first because you're going to get injuries. I think you're more having to find teams that are going to shit.
I think the draft would be a good option for these teams. I don't even think Ollie Gordon next year is a good option because I watched him play at Oklahoma State. Like he's a great player, but
no, he's not built for he's a plotter.
I don't think he's built for the NFL.
What's his name at Boise State? He's the obvious. Who played at Frisco Lone Star, by the way. But even then, he screams college running back to me.
Yeah. Well, with Boise State playing in bigger conferences, maybe we'll see big performances from running backs from there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, man.
About 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
Devin Singletary, the Giants would never trade him to the Cowboys.
Yeah, but they got that Tyrone Tracy guy.
Yeah, I'm just saying I don't think they would trade him to the Cowboys.
Yeah. That's a good man.
Gus Edwards.
Gus the Bus.
That could, I mean, J.K. Dobbins is definitely the number one back there.
Now, you know what? Great story there.
Oh, yeah. LaGrange, running back from Texas. We covered him.
Yeah.
Just has not been able to be healthy. That's literally been his only knock.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but again, though, Harbaugh loves to have a bevy of back. So it would take a lot to get Edwards. You're going to have to trade one round higher than most because Harbaugh's going to always be like, I always have value in multiple backs.
How?
I'm trying to think of, I guess either one of the Raiders could be up, but neither one of them are exciting.
Yeah.
I still don't understand why you're not at least. This is where the things that's frustrating. Like, why are you at least? And I also can get that they can say, well, look, we seen
Touchdown.
We see him at practice. We know how he is, but like, why isn't Dalvin Cook at least getting a chance? Like, what does it hurt at this point?
I'm surprised we haven't seen him play yet.
That's my point. Like,
Yeah.
what does it hurt? Like, even if you don't think he's got anything, nobody that you, oh, damn it, Tyron Smith, dude, I feel bad because this is a national game and he's getting really.
I don't. He got like $20 million to go to the Jets.
Are you mad he left Dallas? It wasn't his choice.
No,
Dallas didn't
I just
sign
don't
him.
feel bad for him.
I do. He's a great player and he's struggling.
And
I always liked him as a Cowboy.
I don't feel bad for him.
He was one of my favorite Cowboys.
I loved him. He was the start of a series of great draft picks the Cowboys made under Will McClay and Stephen Jones,
especially at the offensive line position.
Yeah, they knew, and right now they're still making great choices offensive line. I like Cooper Beebe. I like Tyler Guyton. I like Tyler Smith. Steele is fine at the right tackle.
Back to another. Incomplete.
He died.
Well, and
he died.
He is.
I wonder if it's targeting.
Oh no, there's no flag.
Man, usually you always see that as targeting.
I don't think it's his head that's hurt. I think it's his leg.
Let's see.
I know maybe it is his head.
Garrett Wilson, star receiver for the Jets, is down.
Who's had a huge game
in
tonight.
the end zone.
No, that's good hits. None of that was targeting.
Yeah.
He went just
Let's
he
see,
got
let's
I don't
see.
think it's his head. I think it's his body. Yeah, it's a body blow.
Yeah.
Good
Hey,
defense.
yeah.
And
kudos to the Bills for not going for the headshot because they went for the ball, not for the head. It is the it is the safer play.
Golly, what were we just talking about? We're talking about Tyron Smith.
Oh yeah, so the Cowboys great draft picks.
Oh yeah, and here's the thing. I was saying this. I didn't even know this until it was for.
Yeah.
It wasn't even for the Cowboy game. It was for another game, and they gave the 5 youngest offensive lines in the league, and Dallas is 5th youngest. Dallas literally went in 18 months from one of the oldest to one of the youngest offensive lines. So that's good.
Impressive. Yeah.
There's a lot. Again, this is why I feel like partially Jerry is setting up Mike McCarthy to fail, because whatever Dallas ends up doing this year, they're only about 3 good moves away from being back to a really good team.
And you could say that for half the league.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying Dallas specific. Like right now, if they go, screw it, we're Mike, you're out. We're going to hire a new coach. Draft an offense, draft a running back, or sign a running back and get some better wide receiver and get some defensive line help, and all of a sudden you're looking better again. But again, it's just, who do you trust that they're going to hire that's going to make you feel good about it? I love this commercial. It's so stupid.
Yeah. I love that they're doing Devontae Adams commercials in the middle of this game.
Oh, you feel like that's targeted?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Julie Bowen, you messed your face up. You were cute, too. Ooh.
All right, commercial break now. Almost the end of the third quarter. Tied at 20.
Still got 3,000 people watching. We really appreciate everybody joining us this week or this night. Again, next happy hour, we will not have a happy hour. Noah's decided he'd rather be in London.
Yep.
Stupid London.
59 seconds left in the third, 4th and 11. Jets about to kick a field goal to go up 23-20.
So we're now they've outscored the Bills 13-6 if they make this, since including the Hail Mary. And he missed it.
He misses
that
it.
Ball. So there's a 16-mile-an-hour wind. And by the way, that other one was not blocked. That was just a.
Oh, okay.
There's a 16-mile-an-hour wind, and you can see it right here, because watch this ball. It's going in. It's going in, and look, and whoosh.
Wow.
Legatron, he's another one that we wanted as a Cowboy. And then when we got him, we were like, you can have him.
Yeah.
We're good. He wasn't even terrible with Dallas. In fact, at Dallas, it was kind of like this. He made all the 50s and missed everything inside.
Yeah.
But, man, there was a time when he was a joy to watch.
I think the Bills do a couple of running plays and take it into the fourth quarter.
Oh, I don't think they run their offense whether they go into the fourth quarter or not. Man, the Bills are just such a weirdly built team now. The positions that they're good at, they're really good at.
Yeah.
But then the positions that they're not, that they have issues. Here, take over for a second.
Okay. False start.
Sing
Bills.
or do whatever you need to do.
Okay. You want to you can go to commercial if you want.
Because by the time I get back, you'll have to talk.
Oh, okay.
You got this. You're good. I'm just going to tinkle.
All right. Enjoy. All right. Terry's left us. Intern the pros here. It is 1st and 15 after the penalty. Josh Allen drops the back to pass, is caught. Curtis Samuel makes the catch. 2nd down and long still. 2nd and 7. He makes up about half the penalty. Let's see what the call is. Illegal formation on the Bills. So terrible. Nah, that's just terrible coaching. You don't do illegal formation. Well, in this case, the offensive lineman was the last person, and clearly, your offensive lineman is on the far right. There is no eligible receiver on that right side. That's just terrible coaching.
Did they get
So
grounding?
no, illegal formation. Now it's 1st and 20. 49 seconds left. Going from 2nd and 7 to 1st and 20. So at least they didn't lose it down. I guess that's a good thing.
So speaking of 49, what are your thoughts on the 49ers? Is it just because of injuries, or is the shine coming off of Kyle Shanahan? Because I kind of feel like the shine's coming off Kyle Shanahan.
Injuries are part of it.
Well, yeah.
Losing someone like McCaffrey is pretty tough. He was a guy that accounted for like 2,400 yards combined offense last season for them.
But isn't just looking at the Seattle game, Jordan Mason gets hurt, and then Ejimwa comes in and has 10 carries and 90 yards. It goes back to what you and we talked about in the offseason. We've talked about during the preview show. Did they really need Christian McCaffrey to do what they want to do? Because they have a really good system that does well with any running back. That feels like we could have allocated that money to other positions.
Well, I mean, it's still Christian McCaffrey. I really feel week in and week out, he's going to always get you those yards, whereas a Jordan Mason maybe one week does it, and then next week gets you 80 yards but 2 fumbles. It's
just weird, though, because as great as a season that McCaffrey had last year, and it was near MVP, I'm not denying it, and I absolutely love watching him play, but there never was a point where you go, oh, man, they won because of Christian McCaffrey. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't have
usually his big blowout games are a home game against a 4-13 team, and he has 3.
You see what I mean? The same thing that they knocked Dak for, you know. And I'm not saying he should be knocked for it again. Dude, Christian McCaffrey's one of those I wish would be a Cowboy. I love him. I love these stupid commercials. Luke Wilson, not a football star. But yeah, I don't know, man. In the last 2 of the last 3 losses, the Niners had a 10-point lead in the second half. And lost them both. That's an issue. There's something really weird about how Kyle Shanahan's team, who likes to run the ball, can't run the ball in the fourth quarter with a 2-score lead.
Yeah, almost feels like he should just hand the play calling duties off to someone else.
Well, I mean, but also like the great defense. They all of a sudden can't stop people. It's starting to feel like, and this will be the year that they do it, it's starting to feel like San Francisco is going to go down as one of those. They had a great run, but they just couldn't quite do it when they needed to.
I mean, yeah, that's very possible. That's going to happen. Time will tell. I think their window is closing. I just can't imagine. The only good thing for them is that the NFC is so wide open. Any team can really come out of that conference. I think that's one of the reasons why you and I give hope for the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, it's 100%. It's 100%.
But when we see what Detroit just did in Dallas, you see, I mean, really the NFC North. I don't see Dallas as of right now beating any team from that division.
See, it's so funny you say that. Green Bay scares me. Bears and Vikings don't.
I think their defenses are opportunistic enough to where they could create problems for the Cowboys offense.
Oh no, I totally agree, and I'm not even like the Cowboys would be underdogs in those games, but I'm just saying. I mean, especially the Bears. Look, Caleb Williams is starting to round into form, but he threw 3 touchdowns, but I still think he only threw like a couple hundred yards. Again, it was against the Jags. I mean,
yeah.
This game's been good. Here we go.
Quinnen Williams. This is when the game started.
No, I think this was in the third quarter. At the end of the third quarter.
Oh, good job. Let your cool cause your team yardage. Good job.
I think they called both. So I guess that's fair.
Just kick them both out. I hate stuff like this. Like you get paid way too much money to be acting like idiots here.
Well, that's like what's his name? The Hoffman.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was just against Buffalo. But just like Hoffman for the Cowboys, been in one snap all year long. So the first snap he comes in, he immediately gets a personal foul, which literally could have costed them the game. Like you got to know your role and you got to know where your standing is on a team.
If you're gonna do that, take a player out. I'm just saying. If you're gonna do it, be a goon. Oh, I see you're wearing an undefeated team's hat right now.
Oh yeah, the Dallas Stars 3-0 with 2 shutouts. So here they're just going to give up and punt, and the Jets, who have just here we go. I love this. Oh, they have a history. That's what it is. Oh, I love the flop. This is why rivalries are great.
I just can't wait for Secret Base to do a video on this.
Hey, Secret Base is a great channel.
Deion Dawkins versus Quinnen Williams.
I love their look backs and deep dives.
Yeah.
Oh, missed it. Got a chance for a big punt return. Oh, boy,
clothesline.
The hitting is crisp and clean in this one, folks.
Yeah.
This has definitely been a good old-fashioned rivalry scrum.
Hey, man. This vodka's pretty good, man. I have to admit.
Good night, loving. Where the loving is good all night. Best rivalry in NFL right now?
Probably Ravens Steelers.
Still, you think?
You mean you just asked me rough top. I mean, to me personally, Cowboys Eagles.
I think Cowboys Eagles top 3 right now. Their game. The problem with the Cowboy Eagle rivalry is they split. Like their games at the end of the day don't really, they negate each other.
Yeah.
I think Ravens Steelers 10 years ago, I don't really I mean, it's still fun to watch and I still get excited when they play. Right now, man, it's weird because there really isn't a like, oh my God, this is the game. You're circling these 2 matchups all year long. I mean, Buccaneers Saints, they have a fun one going.
That is a good one.
I guess you'd go crawl like Ravens and Chiefs. That's a fun one right now.
Bills, Chiefs.
Yeah, that's kind of lost its luster the last few years because the Bills haven't been able to replicate and get back to an AFC title game.
Yeah, it's true, but they met in the playoffs several times. Bengals, Chiefs.
Bengals Chiefs is a good one.
That's a good one.
Niners Rams a couple years ago was really, really good for a moment. Chiefs Niners. I mean, they've played in 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And in both of them, the Niners have led, and then the Chiefs have come back.
Brees Hall was looking to break one.
Dude, there's just a crap ton of flags now.
Yeah. Maybe this one will be on the Bills.
No,
typically it's going to be holding on the offense, though. Yep.
Getting to be that time of night. 3,000 still hanging in with us. We appreciate
y'all still hanging with us. We'll hang with you if you hang with us.
You'll be back in studio November 18th for the Cowboy Monday night game. Who are they playing?
The Houston.
Oh, yeah, that is a Monday night game. Great one.
And we're going to talk more about. So, like today, I came over and we did a couple of shows, and we're going to do a part 2 of one show.
Mm-hmm. And then you're going to be back 10 days or 9 days later, and we're going to do a Wednesday special happy hour. But it's not going to be about the season. It's going to be about the best Thanksgiving games.
I need to do some research on that.
And I figure the way we'll do it is we'll do top 5 Cowboy Thanksgiving games and then top 5 non-Cowboy Thanksgiving games.
So Lion and then the night games. Okay.
Yeah, the night. I guess the night game's been going on for what, 13 years now, 10 years?
The Butt Fumble was
the first one, right?
Yeah.
And then the Saints and Falcons had a few years. I really wish they'd go back to that being a standard.
That's a good one.
That's a very underrated rivalry, by the way.
Very.
I mean, just through history, those two have, even when they both sucked, that was the thing they both looked forward to, was the 2 games against each other.
Yeah.
And I still contend the NFC South is some of the most enjoyable football right now because it's so eclectic. Yeah. You never know what you're going to get with any of those teams. Well, except for the Panthers. They suck.
But then there's years they're actually really good.
Huh?
There's actually years where they're really good.
Oh, yeah. It's just been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Jets, 3rd and 11.
It's been a while since the Jets made the playoffs. In 2010 season, I would believe. Made it to the AFC title game.
Yeah, they're the one with the longest drought for just making the playoffs, right?
At least they made it to the AFC title game that year.
They made it back-to-back. The crazy thing about that is what a throw. Both. The crazy thing about that is they made it back-to-back AFC title games.
Yep.
And didn't play one game at home.
Yeah.
Their last home playoff game was 2002.
Yeah. Patriots won the division both years. In 2010, they got blown out by the Patriots in the regular season and New England. And then in the playoffs, they went to New England, beat them.
One of the most improbable playoff wins.
And then AFC title game, they were down, I think, 24-0 against the Steelers. Scored 19 straight points to make it 24-19, and then it was a close loss. So, yeah, I mean, that was the Mark Sanchez-led team. They had Santonio Holmes. Strong running game, strong defense. My type of football.
Boring. You like boring football?
It's safe. It's something that you can copy and paste into the postseason, and you can hang with any team in the NFL.
That's why I don't like it. It's safe.
But it's safe, but I like it because it's also effective.
No, I'm just kidding. I love that style of football. I do believe your offense needs to be 50-50. It's always should have been 50-50, but especially in today's era.
The Jets are in field goal position right now. They're at the 32-yard line. Well, they need to be 10 yards back.
Well, I mean, and also the wind. Again, the wind it's 19 miles an hour at times. And like I said, that last Legatron kick, it was easily going to be good, and it just veered at the last moment.
And for those that don't watch football, when we say Legatron, we're talking about Greg Zuerlein.
Again, if you don't watch football, what the hell are you watching us for?
Hey, welcome. Please keep watching.
Oh.
Yeah, Greg Zuerlein, he has a strong leg.
Okay, I respect the Aaron Rodgers, Johnny Unitas cleats. Those look sharp.
They do. Well, Peyton Manning also did something similar back in the day.
Peyton Manning's stupid.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Oh,
Great defensive stop by the Bills. Third
dude.
and long.
We need to pay attention to what these teams do over the next couple of weeks, because this feels like one of those games that the physical toll might end up costing some wins, because both of these teams are hitting tonight. Like this feels like a blood rivalry again. Like it feels like there, and it's not. It's funny because it's got nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers. It's just these two teams are fighting tooth and nail, and they're playing each other. And you're just I don't know. I love rivalry games. Rivalry games are what make sports.
To make them definitely more competitive. Okay, good pass to get him better field position for a field goal. They're definitely going to go for, they're not going to go for it on fourth down. So, yep, Ryan Rodgers heading off. About 10 minutes left in the game.
Boy, Legatron looks so skinny now.
Yeah. About to get off the leg roids.
Leg roids. I love that. Not steroids, leg roids.
Yeah, leg roids, yeah.
So this will be a 43-yarder.
I bet he nails it right down the center.
He'll crush it. He'll crush it like a round.
He'll cruise chef it. Right
nope.
down. Oh! Wow. No, my gosh. Another missed field goal.
Wow.
Golly. Is he Brett Maher? Wow.
Oh, Brett Maher replaced him.
Oh, no, wait. That was extra point attempts.
Brett Maher replaced him.
Yeah, he did. And Brett Maher only missed extra points. He wasn't missing field goals.
And the flags were dead, so the wind wasn't an issue. He just missed it. So it remains 2020 with 9:44 left. Bills and Jets. This has been everything you'd want on a Monday night game. Who's this?
A commercial break. That's kind of what they do in the business when they're trying to.
No, I thought that was like an
company.
Actress. I thought that was an actress.
Talks to ESPN or Walt Disney. They say, "Hey, we want a 30-second segment.
Jesus Christ!
We give you
shut
a
up.
certain amount of money, primetime Monday night, and kind of like a Super Bowl but less money."
She's a manly woman. Oh, look at the banners.
You can't. I mean, really, you can't say that.
Why?
You can't call someone a manly woman.
She has a manly face. And also, we just dropped down to like 30 people watching.
Yeah, well, good job.
So, yeah,
I wonder why.
Oh, yeah, all 3,000 left.
Cause and effect. Golly.
Yeah, Lifetime original movie.
Yeah, I don't really watch these commercials anymore. So I'm like, this is a Lifetime movie I'll never watch.
That is a singer or somebody.
I mean, unless they say the name. Husband, father, killer, Alyssa.
Husband, father, killer.
On Lifetime, like you said.
That is a Lifetime movie. You can see it right. Yeah, that chick, she's a singer. I can't think of her name.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and break the seal. BRB. It sounds like Greg Zuerlein's going to make a field goal anytime soon. So. Got him.
As this is a long break. It's a possession change after the miss. Zuerlein's missed 2 field goals on consecutive drives. I just realized that. She's asleep. Just go in there, buddy. So they come back to action. 9:44 left in this game. The Bills really have not done anything since they moved the ball well on the first drive of the second half. Since then, they've just kind of struggled. Again, this is where the Bills kind of do. They'll look good for a half and then just kind of fall apart offensively and just kind of get stagnant. It feels like that's when they're starting to try to rely on Josh Allen way too much. Ray Davis, who again, James Cook inactive. He's had a good game, 84 yards rushing. Oh, what a beautiful throw. Kenyon Coleman with the catch, first down. The Jets have not allowed one touchdown this fourth quarter. The only team in the league that is yet to give up a touchdown in the fourth quarter. So they have the ball at the almost exactly at the 50, 1st and 10. They're going to toss sweep out to the right. Good seal block, good kick out block, and about a 3-yard gain. That looked like that had a lot more yards, but the linebackers and the safeties for the Jets did a good job coming downhill on there. You know, if you listen to it, intern Noe the Pro, Rex Ryan was in the very last group of coaches for the defensive coordinator for Dallas. In fact, I remember Adam Schefter, I think it was.
Yeah.
He was the favorite until, I guess, Zimmer. Yeah, you definitely lost now. Until Zimmer kind of swooped in and got the job.
Yeah.
You got to wonder if let's talk about it. Let's assume Mike McCarthy's fired. Who, and I know we can't just go with the excuse of, well, it's Jerry, you never know. Who are your 3 guys you think Jerry Jones goes after?
Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I think that's a very obvious one.
Trying to think of who Jerry would go after. I would think some young hotshot, but I'm not sure who that would be. Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator for the Lions, highly regarded. A big reason why they're doing so well right now. Now, you could go the opposite route where you're going for Aaron Glenn, who is the defensive coordinator for the Lions.
Jesus, why would you do that?
Players love him.
And
you've seen marketable improvement on that defense.
I just don't see it like you do, man.
You just don't see.
They
things
played
the way
one good offense this year, and Seahawks shredded them. Like Kenneth Walker, I think, still scored 2 more touchdowns against them. And I like Aaron Glenn, by the way. I don't have a problem with Aaron Glenn as a coach. I would be very sad.
He might be one of those guys that's a really good head coach that doesn't necessarily have to be a great coordinator.
That's a good point, and that's happened before. I would love Ben Johnson type, but I don't. He's never hired that, so why would he now? Again,
okay. You want to know the most Jerry Jones hire? Cliff Kingsbury. Look what he's doing with the Commanders right now.
I don't see any. Yeah, but
he's making himself back into a head coaching candidate through 6 weeks this season.
Oh, I don't know. That's a good talking point. I don't know. I don't see. Jerry tends to hire people that he has some kind of connection with, something,
Yeah.
That's why I wasn't joking. I think John Gruden very much is in the top 3 of Jerry Jones would at least talk to. I think Bill Belichick, obviously, and I think Bill Belichick sadly would be the one he probably would go for the most, which would just be a failure. Yeah. Like it's going to be Monty Kiffin all over again, just at the head coaching position.
Oh, wow.
I could see an Al Harris.
So this is my witching hour for drinking. So I'm gonna have one more little bit of a beverage. So if you don't mind passing over the good night loving, sir.
I'll give you some good night loving.
That is not what I was talking about.
Well, I just did. I gave you some good night loving. I think right now, if it was to be 3, I think it's I think Bill Belichick, I think John Gruden, and then a Ron Rivera type.
Ron Rivera. I didn't think about him.
Which I would not want, but I'm just saying, again, or I could even see a Kellen Moore. I could definitely see a Kellen Moore.
I would think that would be more of the same. I don't think that would. I want something that would change the franchise, either for better or for worse.
But that's not what he does. That's not what Jerry does.
Right now, I don't want this because this is not going to get us to a Super Bowl.
No, I don't disagree with you at all, but I'm just saying Jerry doesn't do that.
Correct.
Every hire Jerry makes is a safe hire.
And your question was, what would Jerry pick?
Yeah, Jerry. Now, what would you pick? What would Jerry pick?
No.
I'm telling you, dude. I
really don't want it to be Gruden because it would really question my want to even care about the Cowboys.
Yeah, and this isn't about Gruden as the coach. This is about Gruden as the person for you.
Yeah, Gruden as the coach.
Gruden as the coach. I think that look, John Gruden was never as good of a coach as people think he was. He give him credit for building the Raiders, but the Raiders weren't that far off, and then he just took over for the Bucs. And give him credit, you did what you needed to do to win, but him and Brian Billick they're known as offensive gurus, yet when they were head coaches, their quarterbacks were terrible.
Yeah.
Just not even close to being. I mean, Derek Carr was maybe okay when John Gruden was his head coach.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just, Ben Johnson would be a great hire, but Jerry Jones ain't hiring Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson doesn't have any kind of skins on the wall. Ben Johnson doesn't have anything he has no wow factor.
Yeah. And you never know with offensive coordinators or defense or just coordinators in general. You don't know how they're going to translate to head coaches.
Oh, that's 100% right. You were 1,000% right. And you kind of brought up a good point that sometimes the guys that are fair to middling coordinators become the great head coaches because it's fourth and they're going to kick field goal. So with 3:46 left, the Bills, this feels like a lost drive, even though they're about to take the lead. Like you don't want to be down 3 to Aaron Rodgers. Especially when you've got to make that play. You've got it. Again, this goes back to why did they not make a better decision at wide receiver? It just blew my mind. And I agree that maybe it was time for Stephon Diggs to go. And to be honest with you, Stephon in Houston's been very meh. Like he's been okay.
He hasn't been needed to be great.
Yeah, but he's going to be now with Nico out for at least 3 more weeks.
Yeah, I agree. But they still have Tank Dell. But they have a big matchup this weekend. So, yeah, for sure. They'll need Stephon Diggs.
Who they play this weekend?
God.
I can't remember now. I know it's
I know, but let's just give me a second here.
Green Bay. I think it's Green Bay.
I think it's the Packers. You're right.
Yeah, I think it's Green Bay. Because we're talking about
matchups. Houston at Green Bay.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. That's going to be a fun noon game.
5-1 Houston at 4-2 Green Bay.
Dude, Jordan Love, they showed one of his touchdowns this week. He throws it up too much for my liking. Like
he has a lot of faith in those young receivers.
Yeah, well, and then also like that terrible pick six that looked like Will Levis.
So more times than not, though, I mean, he'll, those guys will make the catch. So I mean, he has a lot of faith in Dobbs, who came back after a week of being hurt, or not hurt, suspended. We still don't know what it was. I feel we'll eventually figure it out.
Oh, I don't think it's anything special. I think he just wanted to fuck off for a couple days.
I mean, he's not saying anything, so it must be something either embarrassing or very, very personal.
Well, I think also
offside on the defense.
Wow. I think also, though, a lot of that, the NFLPA won't allow players to talk about a lot of that kind of stuff.
That is fine.
Let's see here.
I'm looking at the rest of the games from prior. I think we actually covered every other game, surprisingly.
I'll say this as a Cowboy fan, I'm so glad there's no Cowboy game this week. I can just watch Red Zone.
Oh, yeah.
I can just watch football all weekend and not care.
Man, that's all I've been doing. It's really hard to watch. I watched the Sunday night game last week against the Steelers, but it's just really hard for me to watch Cowboy football week to week.
No, I mean, if they don't care, and I don't mean the players care. Did he miss it? No, we got it.
Boy, these kickers.
The field goals have just been interesting. The players care, but it doesn't even feel like Mike McCarthy cares. Like it feels like he sees the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
Like he's known this whole time. I might as well just pick up my check and be good.
Yeah.
Does Mike McCarthy get another shot anywhere else?
Nope. I can't see another coach or another team wanting to hire him as a head coach. Maybe as an assistant or like a consultant, but not a head coach.
I mean, Oh, this could be huge.
Another penalty on the Jets? Oh, no, wait. The referee is talking to Jeff Ulbrich. So it might be on the
after the field goal.
still on the Jets. Delay of game? Unsportsmanlike conduct. On again, Javon Kinlaw. He was a free agent acquisition from the 49ers this past season.
They said that he talked bad to the official.
Oh, idiot. He's a veteran. Well, I don't know why you putting your hands up. I number 76.
He thinks they're getting the ball. I think Mike McCarthy could get another chance because, yeah, the playoff thing, but that's a fan thing.
Yeah.
Teams don't go, oh, he's a good coach except for the playoffs. They're going to be like, that dude went 12-5, 12-5, 12-5 in the circus that is Dallas, where half the time you're hamstrung by your owner.
Yeah.
I don't think a good team gives him, but I think a team that's bad who's just trying for a Hail Mary, I could see that. And I feel bad for Mike McCarthy. I think genuinely he's been a perfectly fine coach. Is he perfect? No.
Yeah.
Does his time management suck? Yes. But you know what? Andy Reid's considered maybe the best coach in the league right now and maybe one of the top 5 coaches of all time. And Andy Reid is absolutely atrocious when it comes to time management and when to challenge and timeouts and stuff at the end of the game. So I think Mike McCarthy could get another chance. I just don't think it will be, like I said, it won't be with a good team. Like I could see the Saints hiring him.
Yeah.
Because remember,
Dennis Allen's not going to make it past this season. So the Saints will be looking for a new head coach in 2025 for sure.
And you know, Mike McCarthy watches all the films of everybody.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what he's going to tell the Saints ownership.
Yeah, last Sunday I was, well, Mike, weren't you coaching in a game? Yeah, but I was still watching all the other game films just at the same time. Well, maybe that's why y'all lost. Oh, no, it's not my fault.
Mets tie the series with the Dodgers. We're talking about Major League Baseball.
Was the ALCS?
So ALCS, the Yankees won 5-2 over Cleveland Guardians. They're up 1-0. All their stars won.
Wasn't that last night?
Huh?
Wasn't that last night?
No, that was tonight.
Oh, was it tonight? Okay. I don't know why I thought they started that last night.
Yeah, it was just like the time difference, I guess. But yeah, Soto, Stanton, Judge all contributed.
Wow. Now, again, he was out for the whole 2023, or basically, but Aaron Rodgers hasn't had a 300-yard game since 2021.
That was the last time Rodgers-led team made it to the playoffs. Yeah.
So why doesn't Aaron Rodgers get knocked for how terrible he is in the NFC title game?
Question.
Because he's terrible. Again, that's that weird, well, he won a Super Bowl. Okay. He won a Super Bowl 15 years ago.
Yeah.
How long do you get to use that? That's like the Joe Flacco thing.
Yeah, Joe Flacco got a fat contract after that one. Good for him.
Jets since 2020, 5-20 in division games. Now, to be fair, you've had in 2020, since 2020, you still had the Patriots for a couple of those years, the Bills, and then the Dolphins. Whoa. Wow, Tyron Smith. No, he didn't save it. Oh, my God.
5-21 in divisional
Bills
games?
Just, wow.
They got all over Rodgers there.
Wow.
Man, I can't believe Robert Saleh coached this team like that.
I mean, this is all on Robert Saleh.
Don't you worry, Rodgers. We have another
No, there's going to be a pass. That's a pass.
Tuck roll?
That's a pass. Forward motion. That's a pass all day long. Let's see what they're saying. Yep, forward incomplete pass. That's a good call. That's a forward incomplete pass. Look at Tyron Smith. He doesn't do what Cam Newton does, and that's not fall on it. Fairly or not, that's what Cam Newton's career is now considered. That's what everybody talks about, falling or not falling on the fumble. DeMarcus Ware thanks you. So 3:40 left, 2nd and 10. The Jets need at least a field goal. I don't know if you can trust Greg Zuerlein right now. And now we got another flag.
Megatron.
Boy, these two, man, this just makes me want to make sure I check in the next time they play, because these two teams are not happy with each other right now.
Yeah, it's getting ugly now.
And this is like the Rex Ryan era for either team. Does Rex Ryan ever get another chance? That's what I was going to talk about earlier.
He should get another chance.
Really?
With the right team.
He was terrible in Buffalo.
He was not terrible with the Jets, though.
Yeah, he wasn't good either. They had two good playoff runs.
You think that he has a more than decent quarterback?
I think he's like his dad. He doesn't want a decent quarterback.
Well, I think he's been around other people where he can say that, yeah, you need a pretty good quarterback.
So then why did the Bills offense become so terrible under him? I think he's just like his dad. He's just that. Yeah. Oh, that Buffalo's trying to challenge it.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Rex Ryan deserves it, but that's what I was trying to say earlier. By accounts, he was close to being the Dallas defensive coordinator, and then Zimmer got it. I could see Jerry giving Rex Ryan head coach.
Yeah, I could definitely see him.
Again, that's part of the issue. Is it's not like there's anybody that's a sexy name or somebody like, yeah, I really would like him. Like you even said, like, okay, Ben Johnson, but we don't know what the hell Ben Johnson would do as a head coach. It's just the Cowboys have put themselves in this hole, and it's all by their own doing, and I don't know if they can get out of it.
Yeah. John Perry.
Tuck.
Yeah, it looked like a tuck. All right, 3rd and 4, ball at the 36 of the Jets.
They still have all 3 timeouts.
Yeah, Rodgers back to pass, incomplete.
But they still have, oh my God.
Wow.
Dude.
The Bills just messed up.
This is like the Cowboys playing the Cowboys with the penalties right here.
Yeah, only the Cowboys would make some kind of penalty like this. No, that was uncatchable. And I'm making the symbol right now for uncatchable.
First off, I hate that rule.
Why? If it's uncatchable, it's uncatchable.
Pass interference is pass interference.
No, it was uncatchable.
It's uncatchable. A hold. Nope, a hold's a hold. You don't get to say,
he was not catching that.
You do not get to say, oh, well, that was a hold away from the play, even though they should. Like, I don't think all holds should be called.
I just said it.
Huh?
I just said it.
What?
That was pass interference.
Oh no, I agree. I'm saying I don't like I don't think they're. I think pass interference is pass interference. Another flag.
It was uncatchable.
I don't think that should be a rule. Is my point. Pass interference is pass interference is pass interference. Mm. Hold a hold a hold.
Oh. What'd you call me?
I mean, that's literally the only thing that they go. Number 77.
I'm tired of these offsetting penalties.
You know what? Here's what they should do. Offsetting penalties should be decided by Rochambeau.
That would make it more entertaining.
Heck yeah, it would. That'd be freaking awesome, dude. It wasn't 77. I thought it was at first. Dude, Tyron Smith, though, has looked bad tonight.
Yep. Hey, for those that are not Cowboy fans that didn't watch Tyron Smith play,
Look, did you see that?
Yeah.
He just missed. I mean, that's a play that Tyron Smith for 10 years just bulldozed guys.
He was so important for the pass protection, for the run blocking. He was so good back from 2010 to about 2022. So, we're very
Oh my god,
Tyron Smith is a guy that has a 6-pack. He used to have a 6-pack,
and he's still pretty thin. I mean, he's always been big.
He's like about 6'4", 6'5", about 305.
Yeah,
but he was always chiseled. And
look at that beautiful first down!
First down for the Jets.
Hall.
Yeah,
and we got it. Golly, dude,
take it back because the way Rodgers is looking, and I saw Bill Player clapping. That must have been a holding.
Number 77.
Yeah. Wait, let's see everybody in. Ah, 66. 22 accepted. Wow. 22 accepted penalties.
So the NFL has a penalty problem right now.
Yes.
They're
not able to practice enough.
I think I don't think it's that. I think it's that I just think that the officials, every ticky-tack call gets called now.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. And the players get plenty of practice during the week.
I don't. No, they don't.
Whatever. Wait till they have those 36th game of the year, and then they're going to be really.
If they increase the regular season to 18 games, I don't agree.
That's a flag.
Nope.
Wow, good call. Good non-call. Oh, Goodell just started floating it out now. They're going to an 18th game. He literally was like, we're going to an 18th game.
What I'm saying is if they do an 18th game, I think they should just eliminate preseason.
I think that's going to – I think that –
Or one preseason game. Just like a preview for the season.
Yeah, and everybody says, well, that game's right. Every other football college doesn't. They just do a couple. They do a like intra-squad scrimmage and immediately start the season.
Yeah.
High school in Texas, you do 2 scrimmages and you start the season.
And I feel that August to December should be regular season.
Mm-hmm.
January is playoffs. February is Super Bowl. That hit the ground. Oh, well, it was intercepted.
Yeah,
I thought that just hit the ground. Replay that.
Yeah. It should have been a first down.
No, Mike Williams was probably out for the year with a broken
Was that him?
feelings.
Is he 18 now?
Yeah.
Oh,
of course he's hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Oh, my God. I was just joking.
All right, what? He slipped. Oh, great interception. That is good.
The guy who made the interception looked like he broke his neck. How is Mike Williams hurt?
Well, did you just notice right there, Mike Williams was fighting for the ball, then the Bills to get it, and he's like, oh, now I'm hurt.
Yeah.
Now I'm hurt. I hate these commercials. Nick Saban and Deion Sanders are terrible in these.
Yeah, it's let me tell you, it's great acting. I don't know what you're talking about. Wow, what a great play.
What are your thoughts on Deion Sanders as a coach? And you can't use ethnic slurs.
He has an extra calf muscle. That
I think he's doing a pretty good job. I
think this year's been way better than last year.
I mean, he took Kansas State, a very solid team, to the mat last week.
Yeah.
I think people don't understand how hard it is at the Division I level in a town or a college like Colorado who are, yeah, they care, but they really don't. And to even win 3 games after them being 1-9 for back-to-back years. I think his self-promotion sometimes gets him in trouble, but I think at the end of the day, I think he has Colorado on the right track. Now, the question is he going to still be there when his son graduates? That's the biggest thing.
Oh, my God. We just solved the problem.
What?
New Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, no, that's been
head coach 2025.
I almost brought that up because that's one of the big rumors is that he's going to want, Deion as head coach. Problem is I think Deion, it would be like, you'd have to take my son, and you're not doing that after signing Dak.
Oh, yeah, they are.
And I like his son, but I don't think his son's going to translate to
The Raiders would love Dak Prescott. Think about any other team that doesn't have a rookie stud quarterback.
Oh no, that's why I tell people act like Dak wouldn't. Why is Jerry overpaying him? Jerry's not overpaying him. If Dak Prescott hit the free agency next week, Dak Prescott signing a $200 million deal, easy.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't understand how the league values Dak Prescott. Every year, ESPN at the beginning of the year does their top 10 quarterbacks on like all these different things: best arm, mobility, decision making, accuracy, blah blah blah. For the third straight year, Dak was the only guy that finished in the top 10 in every one of them.
Yeah.
Yet still only finished like top 10, like 9 as best quarterback. I think right now, Dak, he's not playing it like this year, but going into this year, I think Dak was about the 5th best quarterback in the league, which is perfectly fine. You should be able to win a Super Bowl with that.
Yeah.
You should be able to win a Super Bowl with any quarterback that's within the top 18, in my opinion. In today's era where it's quarterback play is super important, but it's not, you don't have to have a guy that's throwing 70 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. You can be Brock Purdy and win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's true.
If Mike Williams does not slip right here, I think he gets the first down.
Man.
Oh, he did get his neck kind of.
Oh, yeah. Like, why is Mike Williams on the ground?
No, I mean, Mike Williams did too. Mike Williams got his neck.
No, Johnson got the worst of it.
No, I mean,
Mike Williams like, okay, everybody assumes I'm going to be hurt, so I'm just going to pretend I'm hurt.
Well, did you see how awkward that looked right there? It was Aaron Rodgers on the bench with the new play caller, and they weren't talking to each other, and they literally looked like they were doing everything they could to avoid eye contact.
Cray. Oh, man.
We are almost done here, folks. We appreciate I think that says 27 that are still here.
Hey, thanks, guys.
I know at one point we had 9,000.
It's good. We were open for what, 3,000?
That's always my thing is 3,000. What? Oh, that's Lockhart. That's funny. That's Lockhart, Texas football. What was the coach they just showed? I was going to ask you. Oh, Doc Rivers. What's your opinion on Doc Rivers?
Overrated.
I mean, he's so bad. He's like not even rated anymore, I think.
No, I think teams hired him because you'll get to the playoffs with him. But my thought on it is
his teams never overachieve.
What his 2008 Celtics team did was unprecedented, and now it's been duplicated several times. Just building a dynastic team with 30-plus-year-old guy in Ray Allen, a homegrown guy in Paul Pierce, and a cornerstone for another franchise. Miami did it basically because for the Raptors, Chris Bosh was their cornerstone.
Yeah.
So that's your Kevin Garnett. And, then you have your Ray Allen-esque player, and it's a bad comparison, but LeBron James coming over, star player for another team.
Yeah.
You have your homegrown talent, Dwayne Wade. They got 2 championships out of it. Good for them, but I mean, that's a team that probably should have won it every year. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for me to believe that a team with those 3 guys in their prime could actually lose a championship.
Well, they lost to Dallas. That was a surprise. But then they lost to San Antonio, and there's no shame in that. And that was still San Antonio.
But they beat Oklahoma City. They beat San Antonio one time.
Yep.
So,
that right there saved the game. That play right there on a big run for the Jets, getting them knocked out of bounds instead of a touchdown.
Well, I mean, Zerline not making his kicks also saved the game.
Yeah, here we are. If the Bills don't get a first down, the Jets have plenty of time. Like, plenty of time.
Yeah.
Taylor Rapp, he's a hell of a football player.
Heady Jim Rapp.
I don't know. Is he heady? It's hard to tell.
We need to look him up.
Looks like he might be good at math.
Yeah. I'm glad it's only 27 people.
Oh, there's Mike Williams out for the next 10 years.
No, not for the at least for the year.
Dallas will re-sign him to a $40 million.
No, please shut up.
17-year, $45 zillion. Oh, the draw play and
First down.
the Bills are going to win it.
No.
I say on that note, we end it. We want to thank everybody for joining us for our watch party. Hey, see, when we put the TV up here, we don't try to watch it through computer. We actually watch the game.
Yeah.
So I think the watch parties will stay out here. Great play call right here. Love the aggressive right here. It's like what you call safe aggressive. At worst, you're going to get Allen's going to slide and he's not get the first down. At best, you get this right here. A huge win for the Bills because the Bills were dangerously getting close to Sean McDermott chatter again. What was that weird face, Josh? But seriously, I think if they go to 3-3, you start because that'd have been 3 in a row, and you start getting can Sean McDermott? This at least quells that, gets them a big game up, like you said, technically kind of 2 games up right now.
Yep.
For the Jets, I think this was a pretty good performance, all things considered. They played well. I mean, again, the little things that caused Robert Saleh to get fired still happen, like going 1 for 4 in the red zone, 2 field goals, 11 penalties, and then the 1 Aaron Rodgers interception. But you actually saw life in the offense, though. And that's something we haven't seen since week 1.
You really did. Super impressive with the Bills today. That was really resilient. They'll be 4-2.
They're kind of back as one of the top 3 teams in the AFC.
And I really don't know. Look at Aaron Rodgers' face. I'm waiting for him to go on Pat McAfee and
just trash players and stuff.
Yeah, I see I want to see what he what he has to say.
That's a good point, man. It feels like he's close. I really thought he would say more about the Saleh thing, but I think he realized he can't because he's already taking shit for that. Right or wrong, I don't know. It feels like it's right. But anyway, again, next week we will not have a happy hour, but we will be dropping a video. We'll tell you more as we get close. But you will be back not back here in 2 weeks, but you will be back on the show in 2 weeks.
Yes, sir.
And until then, he's intern Noe the Pro. I'm Terry the host. This has been OutDrank the Coverage Monday night happy hour live fun talk show on L4.